developing the minister's newly acquired Cap Estate property. This same contractor was awarded a multi-million-dollar contract for rehabilitation work done on the Darren Sammy cricket ground in preparation for World Cup cricket, as well as numerous other contracts in the constituency of Choiseul. The allegations being leveled against the minister is that he has received kickbacks from the contractor for the Cap Estate development in return for the awarding of multi-million-dollar contracts around the constituency. Has Casimir filed these developments with the Integrity Commission? Prime Minister Philippe Pierre claimed that he would have a zero tolerance for corruption in his cabinet, although he has ignored numerous glaring examples of corruption amongst his cabinet colleagues. Will this be another situation that Philippe Pierre blindly ignores? St. Lucians deserve answers. Kingston and Philippe Pierre, Pabo.
The United Workers' Party reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the health and well-being of every St. Lucian. When re-elected, we will reinstate the National Health Insurance NHI program, a vital initiative that was regrettably abandoned by the St. Lucia Labour Party, the SLP. This decision by the SLP has left thousands of St. Lucians vulnerable with limited access to affordable quality health care. The United Workers' Party will correct this injustice because we believe that health care is not a privilege, it is a fundamental human right that every citizen is entitled to. The National Health Insurance Program was designed to create a comprehensive, inclusive, and sustainable healthcare system that ensures no one is left behind or left out. And that is regardless of economic status. Under the leadership of the United Workers' Party, the NHI will be reinstated to provide the following benefits to St. Lucians. 1. Comprehensive health coverage. Every St. Lucian will have access to essential healthcare services, which includes doctor consultations, hospitalization, specialist care, diagnostic tests, maternity services, prescription medication, and emergency medical attention. No one will be denied care because of their inability to pay. Secondly, we'll reduce the financial burden. Too many families and individuals face the impossible choice between seeking medical care and meeting basic living expenses. The NHI will significantly reduce out-of-pocket expenses, making healthcare more affordable for all, especially for vulnerable groups like the elderly, children, low-income families, and single parents. 3. Timely and efficient medical attention. Long wait times and delayed treatments often result in worsened health outcomes. With the NHI, patients will receive timely care, preventing complications and reducing the strain on our already burdened healthcare system. Number 4, we will focus on preventative care. Preventative health care reduces long-term costs and improves quality of life. The NHI will cover preventative services such as routine checkups, screenings, immunizations, and health education programs to promote healthier lifestyles and reduce the prevalence of chronic lifestyle diseases. Number 5, strengthening the healthcare system. The NHI will provide the financial stability needed to upgrade medical facilities, invest in modern equipment, and improve the working conditions of healthcare professionals. This will enhance the overall quality of healthcare services across the island. And 6, peace of mind for all St. Lucians. Knowing that quality healthcare is always within reach and accessible provides a sense of security. Families will no longer live in fear of medical emergencies they cannot afford, and every child will have the opportunity to grow up healthy and strong. With the United Workers' Party, St. Lucians will certainly have a healthier future. The United Workers' Party has a proven track record of investing in St. Lucia's health sector, from improving hospital infrastructure to increasing the availability of medical resources. Our vision for St. Lucia includes a robust healthcare system where no citizen is left to suffer due to lack of accessibility or affordability. The abandonment of the NHI by the SLP was a betrayal of the people's trust, but under the United Workers' Party, we will restore this critical program because we believe in a St. Lucia where healthcare is accessible, affordable, and reliable for every citizen. When you vote for the United Workers' Party, you are voting for a healthier, stronger, and more secure St. Lucia. Your health is our priority, and we will deliver. A United Workers' Party government plans to change this situation. This crisis demands more than just words. It requires leadership action and solutions. As a government, we will take decisive steps to restore law and order, provide opportunities for our people, and take our communities back from crime and violence. We will do the following. 1. Empowering our youth with after-school and weekend programs. We will introduce holistic after-school and weekend programs that keep our youth engaged in sports, music, technology, and vocational training, providing positive alternatives to crime and idleness. Number 2, creating more economic opportunities. Many of our young men turn to crime due to lack of employment, and so we will work to ensure that we provide support to small businesses, create more entrepreneurial opportunities, and provide them with training programs to help individuals become more self-sufficient. 3, we will improve access to affordable housing. We believe that poor living conditions contribute to crime, and we will upgrade and develop affordable housing to provide solutions so that families can live in safer, more stable environments. 4, we will use technology to fight crime. We will invest in CCTV surveillance networks, smart street lighting, and crime detecting technology to help deter and solve crimes more efficiently. 5, revitalizing sports and community development. We will introduce and upgrade sports facilities across the island and organize regular sporting competitions to keep our young men engaged in structured activities instead of turning to crime. And I say this given the fact that the opportunity for this to take place has been eroded by the squandering of the funds that should be used for youth and sporting activities from the National Lottery after guaranteeing a loan of $80 million and having the National Lottery to finance that loan with $80,000 monthly, leaving absolutely no resources to provide for those programs for young people. We will introduce youth rehabilitation and second chance programs. We will introduce rehabilitation programs for at-risk youth and for first-time offenders, giving them a chance to turn their lives around through education, skills training, and mentorship.
Because you must understand that St. Lucia had no new investments for a very long time, And these things are a fact, the verifiable fact, as I always say. There was no new investment in this country from 2016, 2017.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre continues to push the false narrative that between 2016 and 2021, there were no new investments in St. Lucia under the United Workers' Party. But the results and facts are clear. While the world battled a global pandemic, the UWP was hard at work laying the foundation for economic growth, creating real jobs, and attracting major investments that began to transform our economy. Projects like Cabot St. Lucia, the DSH Pearl of the Caribbean, ITEL BPO, and Ojo Labs created thousands of job opportunities for young people and professionals. We welcomed Inter-Caribbean Airways, while Digicel's OECS headquarters opened up. A group of investors also began construction of the Courtyard Marriott at Point Seraphim, further boosting investor confidence. Serenity at Coconut Bay was delivered, alongside the opening of Belgio Hotel and the Harbour Club. Another investment is the state-of-the-art IAMJet private jet facility, which was built in Vieux Fort. We even signed a historic agreement with Royal Caribbean, Carnival Cruise Line, and MSC to develop a cruise home port in Vieux Fort, a game changer for tourism and job creation in the South. And let's not forget the Orange Grove Plaza in Bois d'Auge and the proposed Sanders La Sousse 380-suite resort, a world-class development that was tragically derailed by political interference from SLP operatives, robbing St. Lucians of hundreds of jobs and millions in economic benefits. Ironically, many of these same projects were opposed by Philip JP and the SLP while they were in opposition. Yet today, they enjoy the benefits and take credit for the progress they once tried to block. So don't be fooled by the spin. The truth is this: the United Workers' Party delivered. We built, we attracted investment, we created opportunities. And we did it while navigating one of the toughest global crises in recent history. The facts are clear and the evidence is everywhere. The United Workers' Party delivers. Philip J. Pierre is just trying to rewrite history as usual. Pierre, Pabo.
Jeremiah Norbert and his desperate labor comrades want you to believe that little was done in Micoud North under the UWP from 2016, despite the clear evidence all around. Even with a 2-year disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the UWP laid the foundation and began the transformation of Micoud North in a way the constituency had never seen before. We built the new Micoud Wellness Center, upgraded the Micoud playing field, built the new Micoud Early Childhood Development Center, constructed a smart block for the Micoud Secondary School. We also built the new Micoud Market, which the SLP has abandoned for the last 4 years. We constructed 2 community parks, one in New Extension Micoud and one in Monrepo. We completely rehabilitated the Micoud Village Main Road. We also completely rehabilitated the Monrepo Community Road. We rehabilitated the Prale Community Center, constructed numerous community roads, including Hillview Road, Sesendescat Drive, Wen Road, New Extension Micoud Roads, Grass Street, and the St. Marie Road. Hundreds of students benefited from scholarships and school bursaries. We also rehabilitated the Micoud Village Public Laundry by the Sea. We constructed a new wing at the Monrepo Passias Combined School and gave the fishermen of Prale a new home. Residents of Micoud also had the benefit of free wireless internet in parts of the constituency. The United Workers' Party delivered for Micoud North, and we're committed to doing it again. Vote Elisha Norbert and the UWP to right the wrongs in Micoud North.
Malwat! Why them Lucians so make them this? Suipui. Some 2.5% HCSL thing is a tax vibe. So what that have to do with people getting meg? But just now, to me them people paying VAT already. Exactly. The tax is calculated on the cost of goods. So one time the price go increase, Uma. The Lucians end up paying more than 15%. Mama! Gasa, just imagine $100 go buy less groceries. People getting poor. Things like rent and utility bills go also increase, Gasa. Real Malawi vibe? All them things the people doing to stay healthy, like gym, healthy eating, and safety and security, go be harder to get because people ain't have money. Partner, if them people ain't have enough money, they ain't go have leftover food for us to eat. The bins go be empty. Wow!
Things real happening to them Lucians. Look out for us again soon. We go show you all more.
St. Lucia is at a crossroads. Mismanagement, incompetence, and rising crime under the Philip J. Pierre administration have left us all struggling. But under Alan Chasney's leadership, our country flourished. Taxes were lowered, 17 health centers were upgraded, the OKE hospital opened, over $12 million in hospital bills were wiped clean, lifting a burden off of our people. Construction of the state-of-the-art St. Jude Hospital began. The forensic lab was reopened. Homicides were 25% lower than they are today. New schools were built, 30% of our roads rehabilitated, and sports facilities across the country received major upgrades, empowering our youth. He successfully led us through the COVID-19 pandemic, winning global recognition for St. Lucia's top care management. Alan Chasney, strong leadership to save our St. Lucia.
Life in St. Lucia has become unbearable. Every day, we feel the crushing weight of a government that's out of touch with the struggles of its people. They've collected millions in taxes on fuel, leaving us paying more for gasoline, cooking gas, kerosene, and diesel. And as if that wasn't enough, the Health and Security Levy has made everything more expensive, adding an additional 2.5% to the cost of goods and services. Bus fares have gone up, bread costs more, electricity, water, food, internet, even your mobile credit, it all costs more. For many St. Lucians, their paychecks don't stretch like they used to. Meanwhile, the government has reduced subsidies on flour, making basic necessities harder to afford. And while they raise prices on you, they've removed 700 people from the public assistance list, leaving our most vulnerable families with no support. St. Lucia is paying the price for a government that refuses to care. How much more can we take? How many more sacrifices must we make while they mismanage our country's finances? It's time to fight back, to stand up for our families, our future, and our country. No more excuses, no more broken promises. We can't afford to stay silent. The high cost of living is suffocating us, but together we can make our voices heard. St. Lucia deserves better. Pierre Pabo.
Senator Lisa Joahir, who also serves as the communications director for the St. Lucia Labour Party, continues to blatantly lie and deceive St. Lucians. In a recent press brief, the SLP spokeswoman tried to deny that St. Lucia's agriculture sector declined by 17% in 2023. These are the facts according to the 2023 Social and Economic Review, a document prepared by the Ministry of Finance. On page 32, the opening paragraph reads, "Based on preliminary estimates, the agriculture sector's real value added declined by 17% in 2023. It went further on pages 33 to 38 to highlight the decline in the various agriculture subsectors. Fishing production declined by 4.6%. Livestock production declined by 17.3%. Chicken production declined by 11.7%. Pork production declined by 41.6%. Egg production declined by 7.8%. Banana production declined by 45.5%. Non-banana crops declined by 17.3%. And regional exports of bananas declined by 54%. The future of St. Lucia's food security is in jeopardy under Labour. The UWP has a plan and is ready to right the wrongs of this reckless SLP administration. Our farmers and fisherfolk deserve better. Lisa, Prosper, and Philippe Pierre, Pabo.
At a recent briefing, Prime Minister Philippe Pierre claimed that the custody suites project has been delayed due to bathroom sinks and toilets breaking during shipment. Not just once, but twice.
There were a series of unfortunate events. Number one, there was supposed to have the toilets, the special toilets. They got broken when in shipping. My information is he was sent back to all the new ones, and then the other ones came and he sent back the same broken ones. So, my information, you see, and a lot.
But here's the truth. The sinks and toilets designed for prison facilities are made of stainless steel, built to withstand extreme conditions and nearly impossible to break in transit. The Prime Minister's claim doesn't add up. This project was initially estimated to cost $1.5 million. Somehow, that budget tripled to $4.5 million. And now there are reports that the costs have spiraled even higher. With every delay and excuse, taxpayers are forced to bear the burden of rising costs, while the government dodges accountability. Why isn't Prime Minister Pierre giving the people the truth about what's really causing the delays and escalating the costs? St. Lucia deserves a leader who takes responsibility, not one who resorts to dubious excuses. Our country demands transparency and honesty, not stories that simply don't hold water.
In 2019, the Alan Chasney-led United Workers' Party took decisive action to address the healthcare challenges faced by St. Lucians. The UWP secured a US $20 million loan from the World Bank under the Health Systems Strengthening Project. Out of this loan, US $5.5 million was specifically allocated to establish the framework for a national health insurance program. Under this initiative, every St. Lucian would have received up to $75,000 in healthcare coverage on an annual basis, making healthcare more accessible, equitable, and affordable for all. An advisory board of experts, including Dr. Stephen King and Dr. Merle Clark, was assembled to design the framework for this transformative program. However,
Thank you very much, and please remain standing, ladies and gentlemen. This is another segment, and we always start everything that we do with prayers. So I'd like to once again call on Mrs. Saint-Gis, who will lead us in a word of prayer. Mrs. Saint-Gis?
Praise the Lord. Avant nous ne pouvons changer ces mots qui passaient, especially John Moisier, si John était là, aujourd'hui, il était ici. If John was here, he would have been here. Amen. If he was still alive, he would have been here. So 1 minute silent, please. Thank you. So let us honor the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and Honorable Alan Chasney and his team. We salute you. Praise the Lord. Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, we thank you for your goodness, your love, your mercies that is everlasting. We thank you for your compassion upon us, Lord. We thank you, O God, because we didn't choose you, you chose us. We thank you, O God, for this day. We are rejoicing and we are being glad in it. We thank you for Mercy Journeys, Lord. We thank you for the people of Saltibus, Choiseul, of Delse, oh God, who welcome us in this place, for the Honorable Bradley Felix. We thank you for him, oh God. We thank you, Lord, for those persons who are working behind the scenes to make this a reality. We thank you, oh God, for protection, oh God. Oh, gracious Lord, we know that we won't be successful if you don't take us through. So we are committing this race into your hand. We're committing, oh gracious Lord, our problems into your hand. Soukou, bon Dieu, nous besoin de. Bon Dieu, nous besoin, mettez la main, bon Dieu. Nous besoin, oh papa, aidez-nous. Parce que toute bagaille chère, gaz là, papa chimé, pas ouanger, papa garde manière, papa baille, et moi savent, papa, lève. Honorable Alan Chasnek, c'est nom niente là, papa, bagay te ka travail, papa. Nous tenons moins de problèmes. Nous pas qu'à venir ici seulement parce que nous voulons pouvoir. Papa, Alan Chasnek, c'est nom niente pas qu'à venir ici juste pour nous tuer, yo gagner. Mais yo qu'à venir pour faire douet ça qui mauvais. They're coming to right the wrong, oh God. Oh, Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, if you don't build a house, if you don't build flambeau, Lord, it is in vain. If you don't watch us and protect us, it is in vain. For you know what is out there. So we appreciate you, God, and we welcome you in our midst at this time. We commit the meeting into your hands, Father, in the name of Jesus. We pray, oh God, that you take control and let your name be praised in air. Oh, we thank you, Lord. We thank you for the win. We are not ashamed to tell you. We want to win is to help the people of St. Lucia. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Miss Robertina Saint-Just, for those words of prayer. And as she mentioned, Mr. John Descat, one of our soldiers who has departed, a staunch supporter of Bradley Felix, and it is my information that John already had his flag so that he can go when we are presenting his nephew, Tommy Descat, who is a candidate for the United Workers' Party in the constituency of Castries South. So this is a fallen soldier that we will miss, but we will honor his memory with a victory in Choiseul, Saltibus, and in Castries South. Ladies and gentlemen, and I say those two constituencies because he is one of Bradley's soldiers and his nephew is one of our candidates in Castries South. So the best way we know how to honor his memory is to give him a dose ball. Victory for Bradley, victory for Tommy. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I do not know why. You all spent everything on the political leader. So I came here this afternoon, nobody told me there was any birthday or anything like that because you all know once you all tell me that I'm asking for my drink. But if there are any birthdays, we will announce it later. But now, we want to go right into the program. But Bradley warned me and said, you cannot start any program in his constituency without providing this large crowd that has descended on Delse this afternoon with a warm Choiseul Saltibus welcome. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be calling on Mr. Whitney Haynes of the Choiseul Saltibus constituency branch to deliver those words of welcome.
Greetings to all gathered here in Delse and to those joining us online from around the world. It is my honor to welcome you to this important UWP Sunday Live meeting. First, I would like to recognize and extend a warm welcome to our political leader, leader of the opposition, and member of parliament for Micoud South, Honorable Alan Chasney. I also warmly welcome our deputy political leaders, Mr. Guy Joseph, and Senator Dominic Fede, as well as the UWP candidates. Members of the UWP executive and the chairpersons of the constituency branches. A special thank you as well to our sitting representative for Choiseul Saltibus, Honorable Bradley Felix, for his continued dedication to our community. Today marks a special moment, not just for me personally as a first-time voter, but for every young person in Choiseul who is ready to see a real change. Here in Delsay polling division, the neglect from the current administration is especially felt. As proud members of the Better Corbeau of the United Workers' Party, we have faced challenges and frustrations, but our spirit remains unshaken. We are determined to come out in large numbers to re-elect Honorable Bradley Felix and the United Workers' Party, so that together we can continue the journey towards progress and development for all. As a young person stepping into the voting booth for the first time, I feel the weight of responsibility and the hope for a better future. But that future cannot be built on broken promises or neglect. Unfortunately, under the Philip J. Pierre SLP administration, many of our youth projects have been left to wither. And opportunities for young people in Choiseul remain scarce. This lack of support has contributed to rising crime, especially among young men, who feel often forgotten and without hope. We cannot ignore these challenges any longer. Our community deserves leaders who will invest in us, not turn their backs on us. Choiseul itself has suffered neglect. The roads are in terrible condition, making everyday life harder for families and businesses alike. Worse still, the community centers in PI and Roblo remain closed, denying our people safe spaces for learning, recreation, and growth. This is not just neglect. It is a political victimization aimed at punishing those who dared to vote for Honorable Bradley Felix. Despite these challenges, our community's spirits remain unbroken. We are determined to stand firm, to raise our voices, and to work together for the future we deserve. With Honorable Bradley Felix and the United Workers' Party leading the way, we will reclaim the progress and the opportunities that have been denied to us. To the youth watching today, I say, your voice matters. Your vote matters. Let us stand together and make sure that our future is one of opportunity, safety, and pride. Before I end, I want to speak directly to the youth of Choiseul and beyond. Do not be lured by false promises. Remember, a promise is a comfort to a fool. The glamour and excitement you see in the SLP campaign are designed to distract you from carefully examining their real plans or their lack thereof for your development and the future of the country. If they offer you gifts or money in exchange for your vote, take the gift, but vote against them. These gifts are an insult to your dignity and your future. Let me put this into perspective. If someone gives you $1,000 to vote for them, that is payment for 5 years. That breaks down to $200 per year, or less than $1 per day. Is that really who you are worth? Is that the value of your future? I have also heard some say that they will not vote for a candidate simply because he's a nice guy, because he's always around, or because he gives out drinks. Are you serious? Look around you. Do you see the state of your country? Will you sell the future of Choiseul and St. Lucia and the future of your children for a few drinks? Your vote is your power. Use it wisely. Demand respect. Demand real change. Do not let short-term temptations steal the long-term future you deserve. As I conclude, I want to remind everyone here and those watching from near and far that the future of Choiseul lies in our hands. It is up to us, especially the youth, to stand united and demand the leadership and opportunities we deserve. We have seen the challenges, the neglect, and the frustration, but we have also seen the strength, the resilience, and the hope that define our community. Together with Honorable Bradley Felix and the United Workers' Party, we will turn those hopes into reality. Let us go forward with determination, with courage, and with the belief that change is possible. Let us vote wisely, vote proudly, and vote for a Choiseul and a St. Lucia that works for all of us. Thank you all once again for being here in Delcere, Choiseul, and to everyone watching from near and far. Together, we will build a brighter future for our community and for all of St. Lucia. May God bless Delcere. May God bless Choiseul. And may God bless St. Lucia. Thank you.
The future of the United Workers' Party is as bright as the flambeau. That was an impressive young man. I have my suspicions. That young man has pedigree. We're no hidden, sir. That boy come from stock. We have to embrace those young people in the United Workers' Party. That is the future of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke of the future, but let me deal with the present. At present, we have a visionary as our captain, and we have a team of men and women who are competent and capable and ready to perform the task at hand. And tonight, we have quite a number of them here. We have our political leader who is in the house. Well, there's a big crowd outside there. He can't get through to come inside yet. So they have him outside, but I know he's here. We have our deputy, Guy Joseph, who is also outside. In the House, we have the other deputy, Senator Dominic Fede. Senator Fede, please stand. the way from Choiseul, we have the Iron Lady here with us, Marcella Johnson, our candidate and next parliamentary representative for Choiseul. Without fail, on every occasion, he's always here, everywhere. The man who will get rid of the sick Star General, the man himself, Peter Chico. You know, the mark of a good politician is knowing when to retire before the whip hits your back. And I was told that Dr. Kenny Anthony has retired. That is because he knows what's coming. And so, in the House tonight, we have the lady who will be the next parliamentary representative of Vieux-Fort South, Liana Joanna Spar, Lady Lee. And if you have one bad Norbert that cannot do the job, you get the good one who can do the job. The next parliamentary representative for Micoud South is here with us today, the man Elisha Norbert. Micoud North, Micoud North. Micoud North, that's Elisha Norbert, Micoud North. And he will prevent the Minister for Crime Prevention from coming back to the House of Assembly so that crime can be prevented in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I have news for you. There is history in the making. And for the first time, the constituency of Labrie-Auger will be represented by a lady and a UWP lady at that. I want to introduce to you Laura Jean-Pierre Noël, the next rep for Labrie-Auger. And now, I am going to Sulphur City. And there are those who don't listen when I speak. When I tell you it's time to retire, listen to me. Auntie Emma Obagatan, the man who will retire Emma once and for all. The man, the next parliamentary representative for Soufrière-Fonsac, Herod Stanislas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a few brand new thoroughbreds who are not here tonight. But I'll just mention their names anyway. For Denry North, we have Bradley Fulgence, Marcel Fulgence. For Denry South, we have Benson. For Castries North, we have Stephen Fabre. Castries South, Tommy Descott. I stand corrected. Tommy is in the house already. That was the man, Tommy Descott, the next parliamentary representative for the constituency of Castries South. Ernest, take a page. You too have to go into retirement. There are two people missing. Well, Rush is not here with us. Rush is not here with us. And of course, there are two people. I mentioned one earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me something. I came to Choiseul to find out what's going on in Choiseul. So I'll ask you the question and you give me the answer. Who is going to flex again in the constituency of Choiseul Saltibus? Yes. I hear Bradley has been such a good representative. I hear that Bradley has been such a good representative that Flambeau decided to give you another Bradley in Denver North. Ladies and gentlemen, I just named a formidable team to you. And all of these people are brilliant, competent men and women. And they will not make a bad move. They will not make a bad decision. And they know that they are part of a good team. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is because they have a competent, capable, tried, proven, highly tested, successful leader, a man who is a visionary and who will take the reins of the leadership of this country again and bring St. Lucia back on a good footing. The man, the Honorable Alan Michael Chasney, our next Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we are here for a Sunday live. That kind of heat I feel in already. Choiseul, what are you all doing? What can I mean, you see, that young man that started that thing, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, let's settle down. Let's cool it off. I want to begin the proceedings with our first speaker. When they want to pillar, come inside, now all of you all pack at the back there now, and you'll have to stand. But we're happy to have you. And those outside, I understand you are hearing us. And before we continue, a special salute to those who are on live stream watching the proceedings now. And an extra special salute to those in the diaspora who have consistently been with us. I see a couple of them here this evening. And this lady who earlier spoke, what is your name, ma'am? Shirley? Hercules. You sounded like a Hercules. You sounded like a Hercules. I know you always listen to us from the diaspora. And I see a lady here. Could you please stand and introduce yourself? Who do we have here? A lady? We have another one on the back there? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want the people in the diaspora to know that you are well represented here. We have a few of you in person, and we welcome that. Now, before I continue, we're missing a guy. We are missing a guy here. Anybody see a guy anywhere? No, not that guy, the right guy. Where is the right guy? Somebody, please let the guy know that we are missing him in here. Anyway, when he comes, we will introduce him appropriately. We will make sure the camera takes you so that the world can see that you are here with us at our Sunday Live here in Choiseul, Saltibus. But in the meantime, if you look there, yes, that's right, come forward. Come forward. Come forward. Welcome to our Flambeau Live in person. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to officially introduce to you the right guy, the deputy, who is the next rep for Castries Southeast. When you can cause so much confusion in the other country. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have you settle down for a moment and cool the heat. Thank you very much, madam. The whole world has seen you.
Soraya from Delta Choiseul.
That's right, representing. That is it. Parfait there. Let the world know that we are Flabo and we are. So let's cool it down a little now. Let's get down to business. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call on our first speaker. I would like to introduce him. I have him down here as a former chairman of the Choiseul Saltibus branch. But I have been, but I have been around the Flabo camp long enough to know that he is not only the former chairman of the Choiseul Saltibus branch. I know too that he is also a former parliamentary representative for Choiseul Saltibus. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Help me welcome to the podium Brian Charles, a former representative and former chairman of Choiseul Saltibus.
Thank you very much, Spider. Thank you very much. Yeah, I must say it is indeed again a pleasure to see so many of you have turned out for our town hall meeting tonight in Delse. As I said, I am a product of this area, and I'm happy to see that so many of you have come here to support Bradley Phillips. Bradley, I think you should, I'm sure you're proud and you have in your heart all the goodness of that constituency. You know, when I saw so many people here this afternoon, you know, I was talking to a friend out there, and he said, Brian, see, anti meeting no nisi no tamu. Was in the isam no going to a rally exam. So, isam no going to a rally. SS katemon gido. You buy Satan to sakini. So that is why we are so proud. And tonight, I am sure all of you who are here, I mean, you would have had your minds well made up and know that Bradley is working and Bradley is doing very well for this constituency. People, we are out here and we are getting prepared. We are getting ready to fight another election. All right? Now, this is very serious. And a lot of us seem to be just following and talking and not taking it as seriously as it should be. But I'm telling you people, if this election is coming up there, that if we do not win these elections, people, that would be the end of St. Lucia. So we have to make every effort. And I do not want people to just say, okay, we will win, I say we will win. When we go out there, we will win. We will win elections only when you bring out your people on election day to cast their votes and we count the numbers after the polling station are closed. That is where elections is fought. People, St. Lucia is in a lot of trouble. I mean, this is glaring from all ends, every corner of this country. Every corner of this country, it is glaring. So, to get it out, to right that wrong in this country, it takes all of us. And I am appealing to every St. Lucian, every voter, to make sure you exercise this franchise to cast that vote, because we must win the next elections. People, Labour is coming with all sorts of rhetoric, as I said. Labour is good for what they are. They are very good propagandists. The propaganda machine is working, is well greased. Their lies, my God, they lie so well, as my mother would say. You can't tell me so good you can't buy la communion sans confesser you. So we have to be careful. And I want my United Workers' Party people to stand behind your leaders. Stand behind your reps. You have to prop them up. That is the way we can win. You cannot be listening to propaganda and other people. When people come and tell you lies, debunk them right away. So, once again, I must say it gives me a great pleasure to see so many of you out here. We are continuing our hard work. We are continuing to work to ensure, I have no doubt, I think you all can count that one very safely, that this one is already in the bag. Because everybody has, that all indications are showing that this one is already in the bag. So, my dear people, let us continue to work hard. Let us continue to encourage our people. Let us encourage our people to come out, and let us make sure this coming elections, the United Workers' Party will stand victorious and make St. Lucia the place that it is supposed to be. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brian Charles. You know, there's one lesson that the Labour Party will learn. You cannot buy loyalty. And I see them trying hard, spending a lot of money. I'm a Calypso fan, I make no secret about that. I watched Calypso finals last night. This morning, Magalan Magisa. And what has happened this year is a disgrace. We have seen partisan politics infiltrate St. Lucia Calypso, complements the St. Lucia Labour Party. But toutes ces magies à yo chanter, you swear, by Labour Party, the hired hands who were paid to sing those nonsense, you will be singing a different song come the next general election. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting from the very south of this island, from Vieux-Fort to Gros-Îlet. And, ladies and gentlemen, the person who will be doing the damage in Vieux-Fort on behalf of the United Workers' Party, I think Dr. Kenny Anthony knows what I know. And I don't want to say to him what he said to Richard, but he knows what I know. And he knows that his replacement has already been established. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the replacement for Dr. Anthony, the next parliamentary representative for the constituency of Vieux-Fort South, Lady Liana Johannes Paul, who will address you.
I cannot hear my song. Can you start again? Can you play my song again? Mr. DJ, that song was chosen for a reason. Mr. DJ. And of course, I selected that song for a very special reason. Mama Flabo! Sapania said this word, Mama Flabo! That is what I'm talking about. Good evening, everyone. People of Choiseul, Saltibus, and environs. Good evening, and welcome to a Sunday Live. It is a pleasure to be here on this platform and to be your speaker. When I was asked to speak tonight, how could I say no? I just can't. I love Choiseul. I lived in Choiseul for 1 year, and I miss it since I moved back to Vieux Fort. And if I were given a chance to live anywhere out of Vieux Fort, it would be Choiseul. The viewers and listeners in the diaspora, welcome. I thank you guys. My name is Liana Johannes Paul, the representative for Vieux Fort South in the upcoming general elections, and also your spokesperson for gender affairs and culture. Now to start this one, it's very interesting. Mr. Alan Shasney, we had a meeting over a month ago and he said, you know what? He had a meeting with all candidates where we had to select the ministry we are going to become spokesperson for. He asked me to choose my ministry and I chose health. Immediately he shut me down. He said, no, health is not for you, that is for someone else. I pleaded because I have a passion for health. I said, I want health. He said, that is for Benson Emil. I said, can I shadow and work with him? He said, no, I want you in gender affairs. Mr. Shasney, thank you so much because I have a story to tell. You put me into the ministry, something that I have been running away for quite some time. And I'm back in it because there is a purpose for me being here, shadowing that ministry. St. Lucia is in crisis, people. The nation is bleeding. Our women, we are hurting. I say this because of all the crime that has been happening on the island, where we have lost many lives, many women. And I will name a few. We have lost the likes of Alana Bernard, Jolie William, my very good friend from Vieux Fort, Christina Sefnis, the latest murder victim, Choya St. Martin, who was also pregnant at that time. And the one who resonated the most with me is Alicia Hunt. I am an Alicia Hunt. I am a domestic violence survivor. And I speak my story here today to empower women and also to the men. Domestic violence starts and ends with men and boys. It starts and ends with the men and the boys and the decisions you decide to take in life. Alicia Hunt, her story resonated well with me because, like I said, I am an Alicia Hunt. But the only difference is I survived mine. She did not survive hers. I went through the exact same situation with her. Exact situation. Stabbed, attacked, jealous lover, and left for dead. But I survived. She did not. When I moved to St. Lucia, after spending 11 years in Barbados, a mere 3 months after moving to St. Lucia, this very same thing happened to Alicia Hunt. I cried. Because you know why? I was in the recovery state of that very same incident. And then her death plunged me right back into depression. But thank God for the Barbados Professional Women's Club. It's a shelter. It's a center for women that took me in. When I was in this shelter, I said to myself, what am I doing here? When I look at the women in that center, they were helpless. I wonder, how did I get there? When I look at them, I am more financially stable than them. I have it all, a well put together life. And I look at the women, I'm like, I am just like one of them. I'm like every one of them. I am no different. The good thing about that center is that it housed the women and the children. It took care of the women and the children. It rehabilitated the women, prepared us to enter the world of work all over again. Counseling sessions. They help you to learn a skill, prepare you for jobs out there. But guess what? Before I moved to St. Lucia, I said, I am going to open a center like this in St. Lucia. But when I arrived here, I was told there was a center already. But what is it that center doing for women? As far as I am concerned, and to my knowledge, that center is closed as we speak. I was even told that one of the victims was in hiding in a guest house when she was murdered. If that center was in place and functional, this murder would have been avoided. Funds have been allocated for that center. Where is the money? I heard that it's been operational remotely. That's not what the women need. The women need that shelter to be in there. They need counseling. They need rehabilitation. And you know what? I, Liana Johannes Paul, will be that voice for the voiceless. I will be the voice for the women, those who are marginalized. And in that shelter I was in, there had children living there with their mothers. Those children were also affected, and it hurt my heart. They were also affected. Imagine having children living in a shelter. They cannot even attend school. That is what we need in St. Lucia, a shelter just like what took care of me in Barbados, not what we call a women's center in St. Lucia that is closed. It is not functional. It's not operational. The women are suffering. This means quite a lot to me, and I am going to be the voice for the voiceless, the voice for the women, also for the men. You are not left out as well. For the men who believe that they are being unfed by the judicial system when it comes to child custody, I am going to be that voice for y'all as well. Too many times people believe that children, especially daughters, supposed to be in the care of fathers. It is not always the way to think. There are fathers that are better parents to that child than the mothers. And those very same fathers are deprived of that opportunity. I did a situation during the week and it hurt me. The father pleaded, Lady Lee, I am a good father. The child mother and her man, they are abusing that child. And she's only keeping the child for the money that she's getting from me. I would like my child. That is where the judicial system is failing those men. So I am here to right that wrong. A vote for Lady Lee is a vote for progress. A vote for Lady Lee is a vote for the United Workers' Party. Mr. Alan Chasney, you saw something in me. We argued a little back and forth about that role you wanted me to play. I wanted health. You saw something in me that I was running away from, and you saw something in me. I thank you so much for bringing me back to that. So as of today, my Choiseul people, Bradley Felix, that's the man for you guys. That's proper representation. Dominic Fede, we got Elisha Norbert, Laura Jean-Pierre, Chico, Mr. Guy, Mr. Shasney, Herod, Tommy, each and every one of you. People go out and support your candidates in full numbers. This election is very crucial. Our lives and livelihood depends on this election. So I'm urging each and every one of you to go out there. I want the women of St. Lucia to know that finally you all have a voice. Put me here, vote for me, let me win that seat. Let the United Workers' Party win the overall general election, and you guys will get proper representation. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Lady Lee. You know, before I introduce the next speaker, I have two things to do. One is a complaint and the other is an introduction. I want the United Workers' Party to know that the next time you're sending me a memo, tell me exactly what it is I'm coming to. You told me I'm coming to a usual Sunday live and I'm in the middle of a rally. I mean, the hall is jam-packed and there are twice as many people outside. But ladies and gentlemen, I stand here proud to be a Flambeau. I have hope as I look forward because of the team that I have seen that the United Workers' Party under Alan Michael Shasney has put together. A while ago, I introduced a number of candidates to you. And I mentioned some who were not present. But little do I know, there's one that I said that was not present who is very much present. You know, sometimes when you have to get a roller out of the way, it takes you a little while to get to where you're going. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who will get rid of the snake, the man who will get rid of the lazy roller, the next parliamentary representative for Castries North, another giant, Stephen Fevrier, is in the house with us tonight. Welcome, Stephen. You know, I worked with 5 of the gentlemen who will be doing battle for us in this next election, and I can tell you, I highly recommend them. And that is why, when I said I'm done with politics, I was done with my politics, but I had to be involved in their politics. And when I see the team that they have put together, it cannot be more impressive. I have been following politics. Now, that has nothing to do with my age. I have been following politics from 1979 very closely. I have never seen a combination of men and women put together on any slate to contest a general election that compares to this one. Flambeau has depth. And boy, when I say to myself, it's a good day for St. Lucia. And then I'm looking at the future ahead, young people in the wings who are so impressive. Our future is bright. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now bring you one of the candidates who were in the last administration. And if I go back to history, sometimes people get it good and they do not know how good it is. And hence the saying, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. And those who were in the last cabinet with Alan Michael Shasney will tell you between Bradley Felix and Herod Stanislas, they don't know who sought for more for their constituencies. I saw Soufrière become a transformed town. And if Herod had won the last election and UWP was in power at this moment, by now, Soufrière, Fossé-Jacques would be a city. Ladies and gentlemen, we can always correct the mistakes. We can always right the wrong. So in the upcoming general elections, here's what Soufrière will do. Just like you in Choiseul, Saltibus, they will return the former parliamentary representative to become the representative once again, so that the comatose Emma Hippolyte can go into retirement and rest her soul peacefully. Ladies and gentlemen, I call to the podium Soufrière's next parliamentary representative, the worker, Herod Stanislas, who will address.
We love the people of Carrer. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every passing must work. I don't like that. Work. Every passing must work. Young or old. Work harder. Every passing must work. Work. White or black. Every passing must work. Work hard. Watch this.
Mama Flambeau. Choiseul, Delce, good night. I bring you greetings from Sulphur City and to our wonderful supporters in the diaspora, in Miami, in Texas, in New York, in Canada, in the UK, the Virgin Islands. A special good night to you from Flambeau family at Delce Choiseul. Brothers and sisters, Flambeau family, it gives me great pleasure to be here tonight to support our brother Bradley Felix. But before I go into what I have to say to you tonight, on behalf of the United Workers' Party, on behalf of the political leader and all the great men and women on the Flambeau platform in these general elections, I want to say a special thank you to you, the people of Delce, Industrie, La Pointe, Fancy-You, Boisden, Esperance, all the electors in I-1. And I want to say that special thank you to you, because this polling division I-1 is what saved Bradley Felix in the last general elections. It is because of your commitment, because of your love, your loyalty, your resilience, because you did not allow the Labour Party to fool you with lies, with propaganda, with rumors. You stuck with your boy. You stuck with Bradley Felix. Because in the last general elections, brothers and sisters, Bradley came to this polling division leading by only 5 votes. From Saltibus to Montgouge, when he ended up in I-1, he had only 5 votes lead. And at the end of the night, it was you, the people in I-1, who gave Bradley Felix the victory margin of 380 votes. And so our people, our Flambeau family in I-1, we have a great deal of gratitude to you, the people of Delce, Industrie, and surrounding communities. And I know you are going to do even better this coming elections. And when the polls are closed and the results come in, Bradley Felix would not have won this polling division by 380 votes. We are going to double it. Bradley Felix is going to win I-1 by 760 votes. That is what we want from you all. And I have been told, I heard, there are 3 or 4 of them who wants to come against Brado. But let us tell them tonight, Flambeau family, the harder they come, the harder they fall. Because not only Bradley is going to win this next general elections, but Bradley would have made history as the first candidate of the United Workers' Party to have won this seat 3 times in a row. Repeat. Repeat, brothers and sisters. And I cannot wait to serve in a government and in the Parliament of St. Lucia with Bradley Felix. I remember, Bradley, our days in Parliament, especially in debates, when the opposition would say all the untruths and attempt to mislead the House and the population. And Dominic sits next to me, and Dominic would say to myself and Bradley, Kasa, we're going after them fellas for that. And Bradley, he's not a politician. He's always said I'm not a politician. Bradley would tell us, let that be, man. Forget about them fellas. We would agree. Seconds later, Dominic would lean over. Herod, we're going after them fellas. Don't know Bradley. And so said, so done. When we go in the debate and we return fire with fire, when we finish, Bradley would tell us, good job, boys. So, brother, I cannot wait to be back in Parliament with you to represent the people of Choiseul, Soufrière, and St. Lucia, and to do the business of the people of St. Lucia. Brothers and sisters, never before have I seen a man who is so committed, who is so dedicated, who is so loving, who is so loyal to his people, other than Bradley Felix. There was not a single day, there was not a single week, there was not a single month, there was not a single year that Bradley Felix would not advocate on the behalf of you, the people of Choiseul and Saltibus. Never. And Bradley's love, Bradley's commitment and dedication to uplift you, the people of Choiseul, Saltibus, to ensure that you enjoy a better standard of living in this country is genuine. Bradley is not a fake. He is not a pretender. He doesn't come and say things that he does not mean. He doesn't do what he's not used to doing. Bradley is a real man. Bradley is a realist. Bradley is a natural man. And that is why you, the people of Choiseul, Saltibus, should never allow the Labour Party to deceive you and turn your backs on Bradley Felix. And I know Choiseul, because I'm a Choiseulian as well. Not only am I a Soufriérian, I'm a Choiseulian. And we are loving, we are loyal, we are committed people, and we do not turn our backs on people who do good for us. So Bradley, you have nothing to worry about, my brother. But to you, the people of Choiseul, Saltibus, do not take it lightly. Bradley have not won the elections. Bradley is going to win the elections when each and every one of you march to the polling stations. You bring your friends, you bring your families, you bring your neighbors, you bring your enemies if you can bring your enemies. And when the polls close at 6 o'clock, when the votes are counted, this is the time that Bradley Felix will emerge as the parliamentary representative for Choiseul, Saltibus. Brothers and sisters, no parliamentarian in the history of Choiseul have delivered as much as Bradley Felix. When you look at the transformation which took place in Choiseul, Saltibus in 5 years, and let us subtract the years of COVID, no one have ever accomplished what Bradley Felix have accomplished in Choiseul, Saltibus. When you look at the Piai Bridge coming from Piai, that is the work of Bradley Felix and the United Workers' Party. When you look at the road in Saltibus, a road which many people do not even want to traverse to get to Lambert's place, today we have a highway thanks to Bradley Felix, Alan Chasney, and the United Workers' Party. When you look at the social development, the empowerment of the people, when Bradley went together with Minister Guy Joseph at the time, and got the monies to build the 2 community centers in Roblo and Piai. Bradley transformed the constituencies. When we came in, the Labour Party was there for 5 years. They couldn't get the works done on the Choiseul Secondary School. It was Guy Joseph and Bradley Felix, Alan Chasney, the United Workers' Party, that gave the Choiseul Secondary School a brand new wing. And when you look at what happened on the Lafac playing field with the lights, for years they have come and gone. They never did it. Bradley Felix put the lights on the Lafac playing field. The fishermen in Choiseul for years were complaining about the pond. With the current bringing in the sun, and they couldn't bring in the boats and put the boats out. Bradley Felix, under the leadership of Alan Chasney, went to Japan. They spoke to the Japanese, and today, thanks to Bradley Felix, the problem has been resolved at the pond in Choiseul. Right here in Delse, brothers and sisters, I remember, because I was in cabinet with Bradley Felix, the number of works Bradley did right there in industry. I remembered very well, there is a road somewhere down there, and Bradley empowered many women with small contracts, and one of them is at the back there, Mona Lynn. I can see you, Mona Lynn. Mona Lynn was one of the contractors. That was Bradley Felix, brothers and sisters. And today, when you look at Choiseul under a Labour Party government, a party that professes to care about people, to put people first, it is regrettable. It is regrettable, brothers and sisters. But I know, brothers and sisters, Brado is going to be back very soon. And when Brado gets back, Brado is going to fix the problem. Brado is going to continue transforming Choiseul. And you, the people of Choiseul Saltibus, will be so proud of this man. He is going to get a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th term until he hands over to another young man or woman in this constituency. Brothers and sisters, this country is in crisis. Brothers and sisters, the upcoming elections, these elections is going to be the most important election since post-independence. Since St. Lucia became independent in 1979, this election is going to be the most important in the history of our country, in the history of our people, in the history of the region, the OECS. And you cannot take chances. You cannot gamble away the future of St. Lucia in this upcoming election. You have to do what is right. You have to do what is right, brothers and sisters. We have to get rid of Philip J. Pierre and the St. Lucia Labour Party. Because if you do not do that, brothers and sisters, this country is going to sink to the bottom of the ocean. And I don't think there is any equipment that will salvage this country. Brothers and sisters, the task ahead is a daunting one. But the United Workers' Party, we've done it before. We've done it under Sir John. We've done it under Alan Michael Chasney. And we are going to do it again. We are going to rescue St. Lucia under the rightful leadership of Alan Michael Chasney, Bradley Felix, and the men and women of the United Workers' Party. Flabo family, this week I listened to some clippings from some town hall meeting, I think on Tuesday. And I heard the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, said that we're taking all tempting seats. Tell them to put it in their pipe and smoke it. When I heard that, brothers and sisters, two thoughts came to mind. Philip J. Pierre is a drowning man clutching at a straw. And second, I said, this man is suffering from dementia. This man is going senile. Philippe J.P. Caped. Et puis la blâme les autres flambeaux qu'on savent. Because le Philippe J.P. vini des autres. I never knew the impact of tourism on the country. Or still I vote by as Prime Minister. Or power started mom qui était. This was a man who was already going senile. Because this was a man who was Minister of Tourism, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Commerce, Minister of Infrastructure. And it had to take you COVID to see the impact, to understand the impact of tourism on our economy. The man has been going through dementia for a long time. But we are going to send him home packing very soon. So Philippe J.P., St. Lucia Labour Party, let me tell you and give you what you have to put in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the high cost of living that St. Lucians are suffering from for 4 years under your leadership, you have to put that in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the worst healthcare in the history of this country, which you have created because of your incompetence, that is what you have to put in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the corruption which is taking place in our CIP program, with the billions of passport monies unaccounted for, that is what you have to put in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the homicides, the increasing homicides in this country, where you do not have a clue as to how to deal with, that is what you have to put in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the high cost of fuel and cooking gas, you are burdening St. Lucians with, that is what you need to put in your pipe. Philippe J.P., the 2.5 bogus levy you put on the backs of the people of St. Lucia, that is what you have to put in your pipe. And my brother, after you have put all your maladies, all your incompetence, all your neglect in this pipe, the United Workers' Party, brothers and sisters, we are going to use the torch. We are going to use the flambeau. We are going to light that pipe, and we are going to smoke Philippe J.P. and his cabal of incompetent men and women out once and for all. So, brothers and sisters, rest assured, the United Workers' Party, under the leadership of Alan Michael Chasney, is ready to do battle. The clarion call tonight is for you, brothers and sisters, to get yourselves ready. Get people registered. Get change of IDs done. Comb the voters list. Get ready for when that bell rings, so that you, the soldiers, you, the warriors of United Workers' Party, you get your candidates the victory at the end of election night. And brothers and sisters, we are going to see a better St. Lucia under the leadership of Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party. Brothers and sisters, I thank you. Good night and happy to be here.
Wow! Newsflash. The Soufrière volcano is about to erupt. Well. Emma, take one in. I swear the Soufrière volcano would erupt in Choiseul tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, That's the dynamism and the power of the United Workers' Party. Now, I got some messages on my phone a while ago about, well, we just heard Herod, but about the previous speaker, that is Lady Lee. And Lady Lee, they told me they didn't get enough of you. We have a number of speakers, so I will not call her back, but I make you a promise tonight. Join me on Monday night on Like It Is, and I will give you more Lady Lee. And you know, Lady Lee delivered a serious message tonight. We have women in Parliament who do not give a hoot about the suffering of women in St. Lucia. But I'm proud to say that I have heard each of the women of the United Workers' Party camp in Laura Jean-Pierre Noel, in Liana Joannes Paul, and in Marcella Johnson. They have all taken up the cause of women in this country and spoken out about it. And Lady Lee, I couldn't help wonder when you spoke about domestic violence against women in this country. You know how in this country our justice system seems to be so broken, and we are dragging our feet when it comes to dispensing justice in this country, especially when it comes to the plight of women. Only last week, ladies and gentlemen, one of the names mentioned by Lady Lee, Alicia Hunt, who was killed over 10 years ago, only last week they dropped the case. And the suspect walked free. And like many other women in St. Lucia, the justice system once again has failed them. Mary Ratcliffe comes to mind. Valerie Lord comes to mind. Giselle Georges come to mind. And many others in this country that our justice system has failed. And what is our government doing? They gave you a minister of crime prevention. And since his appointment, crime has gone through the roof. You have a prime minister who is the minister of national security, and he tell you he is not a police. His father was. All they have done that has affected crime in any way in this country is to give you a crime minister who is in the ministry of the prime minister. That is the only one that is working, the crime minister. Do you all know who is the crime minister who is in the prime minister's office? El Kwapu. So, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a team of men and women that comprises of women with passion, with a heart, and who have the guts and courage to speak out on behalf of women. So once and for all, justice will be served to our women in this country. I can't say anything more about what Herod said, because I now understand why they say that the Soufrière volcano is not extinct. It was just dormant. But I see signs that it's coming to life. Emma, watch it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring you a leader of this party. A giant in this party. And you all think all giants are 6 feet tall and more. That's not true. That's not true. Great things come in small packages. One of the most expensive things I bought from my wife was a ring, and that came in a little box like this. So great things come in small packages. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not being selfish, but I am in the tourist industry, and I'm concerned about what is happening to tourism in this country. When tourists, let me not go there. Let me not go there because information is unfolding that is suggesting that what we are being told is once again another lie. But that's for another show, like Rick Wayne would say. Ladies and gentlemen, we once had a minister of tourism who understood the industry and guided the industry successfully to the extent that even after he was gone, we were reaping the benefits of his work as Minister of Tourism. Not the Prime Minister, who was former Minister of Tourism, who did not know up to now how important tourism was to St. Lucia. Not the current Minister of Tourism, whose primary interest is corruption. I am talking about a man who worked wonders under the guidance of Alan Michael Shasney that made our tourism industry the most buoyant in the region, and worked wonders after COVID to make it the first in the region to reopen to visitors. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the kind of leadership we want in this country. So I invite to the podium the next parliamentary representative of ancillary canneries, a deputy political leader of the United Workers' Party. Ladies and gentlemen, the giant himself, Senator Dominic Fede.
Nous pas vle wen, Fede again, Fede again, Fede again. Nous pas vle wen, in again to win again. Nous pas vle wen, he again. Nous ka vote Dominic Fede pour Goya Kanawe, Paslawe, F Center y a fini.
Hello. Hello. How you feeling tonight, Choiseul? Well, I want to bring up the ancillary canneries crew that I heard tonight. Well, this is a true story that I must recite before I go into my presentation. Herod gets up in the parliament, and for 45 minutes in a budget debate, totally dismantles the then opposition leader, Philip J. Pierre. In the contents of the speech, Herod said to him, "You cannot boast that you're a 5-star general because your constituency is one of the worst constituencies in the history of St. Lucia. And under your watch, it has become even worse than it was. And it has regressed from the days of Romanus Lancico. You are the worst MP for the history of this country." And Herod said to him then, that if you cannot run a constituency, you cannot run a country. So I thought that after winning the elections, that Philip Pierre would have been a happy and vindicated man. He saw me in the parliament and he said, "Where your partner from Soufriere?" I say, "He there?" I said, "What happened? Why you point him out?" He said, "Boy, I will never forget that man. He hurt me so bad because he spent 45 minutes and he was on my back and he made me feel so small that every Tuesday I went to Soufriere to make sure he lose." Now I tell you that story to tell you that Philip J. Pierre is the most vindictive human being I have ever met in my entire life. Now, before I go to my presentation, I must tell you about my good neighbor Bradley. Bradley Felix. I sat next to Bradley in the cabinet. And when I don't have a pen, I took Bradley's. When I don't have breakfast or I don't like what the caterer make, I take Bradley's breakfast as well. Bradley is the coolest neighbor I have ever had. I wish my house was next to Bradley's. But sitting in cabinet, Bradley will give you a gum. He will give you the latest gossip on Facebook. He will give you the latest reggae song from Jamaica. He will give you the latest dress style. And I thought, what a man. And you know what I love and I respected mostly about Bradley is that while we sat in a cabinet with the snake, we did not know that the snake was undermining all of our road programs. And one of the roads that he was undermining secretly in a sneaky way was the Saltibus road. And when I gained respect for Bradley is when every single Monday that he would be after Uncle Shah saying, I need the road, I need the road. And Bradley kept his perseverance. He kept his commitment. He said, during the elections, I promised the people of Saltibus the road. And I am not going to accept if the road is not done. I am prepared to resign if I have to. That's the quality of the man that you are going to re-elect for the third consecutive time to be your parliamentary rep here in Choiseul, a man who is committed to his job. This Friday, I had the opportunity to meet the father of the baby and the mother who both fell to the peril of gun violence. And I met the father. He didn't have to say anything, but as I gazed in his eyes, I could see a man whose spirit was shattered. I saw a broken man. I saw a man who stayed there helplessly and is crying out silently for someone to take the hurt and pain that he feels inside. And upon meeting him and the emotions that he exchanged with just a simple handshake without any words, within me came a surge. And that surge was, we, the United Workers' Party, must fight for helpless people like him, like we have never fought before. Herod was absolutely correct when he told you that this election is the most crucial in the history of our lives. St. Lucia is on the brink because of failed St. Lucia Labour Party leadership of collapsing. And if we don't do something that we have never done before, if we don't reach deep in all of ourselves to make sure that we rescue this country from the jaws of Labour Party destruction, then 5 more years of Labour, we will not recognize St. Lucia when they are finished with it. And so, brothers and sisters, as we enjoy ourselves here and now, we have to understand that this is the mission of our lives. And the mission of our lives is to win this election and to get rid of the St. Lucia Labour Party government so that we can restore respectability to this country. I brought a clip today because I don't like Philip Pear to say that I say things that he didn't say. So I want you to listen to this before I continue. Please play the clip that I have shared with you, Mr. Producer. Okay, we don't have the clip. The clip is coming later. So we're experiencing some technical difficulties, it seems like. So the clip basically was Philip J. Pear saying that the reason why he dismantled the K9 unit was because we did not need the dogs and the scanners. This is what he said. He said that we didn't need the dogs and the scanners working at the same time, that if the scanners at customs were working, that somehow we can do without the K9 unit. And this was a unit very strategically put together by the previous United Workers' Party administration led by the then Prime Minister Alan Shasney. And what we were seeking to do then was to make sure that we did every single thing at the border so that we can protect the border and stop the flow of illegal guns from coming into the country as a major strategy of fighting crime. We understood deeply then that if we can protect the borders, that we can protect the streets of St. Lucia. We understood then that crime had to be solved by a multi-pronged approach, that crime had to be solved not only with a canine unit, but we had to make sure that the scanners at customs were always working. And Philip Pierre said that the only reason why he was going to consider bringing back the dogs was because the scanners at customs had broke down. Now, if the scanners are not working today and Tyson is dead, then who is detecting the guns from coming in? I want the Prime Minister to tell us whether the scanners are working at customs and whether there is enough double checks to make sure that before the guns enter St. Lucia, that we have a due diligence system to make sure that we're preventing the guns from coming into the country. And so our canine unit that we previously had before Tyson, which comprised of 4 dogs, has been shipped off to Jamaica, where it is doing incredible things. And in Jamaica, if you read the newspapers, you will see that Jamaica has a record-breaking decline in their homicide records. In fact, while St. Lucia is having a record increase in the number of homicides, Jamaica is having its lowest homicide rate as of May 29th of 2025. Since 1991, they have not seen so little crime created within the country. And so now they have said that they have registered a 43% increase in crime. 43%, or 210 less homicides. Our canine unit, which we did not want, the government of Jamaica, they have had the wisdom, they have had the foresight, like Alan Shasney, to have the canine unit to go and help them in their crime fighting. And so another indictment on the Philip Pierre administration, an administration that is a block-a-hole government. Everything is now for now. Everything is piecemeal. There's no continuous, sustainable strategy so that they can fight the many problems on many fronts in this country. So Jamaica, 43% less in its crime rate, especially homicides, while St. Lucia remains the crime capital of the Eastern Caribbean. St. Lucia recorded one of the highest records of crime, one of the highest crime rates at 41.7, almost 42% per 100,000. That is one of the highest rates of crime, homicides in the world. That's the distinction. That's what the Labour Party has done to our country. That's why this is the most important election. That's why all of you must not just come to mass canvassing. That's why we have to go out and campaign like we have never campaigned before so that we can win this election and put back a government that will help to reduce the crime situation in this country. The Archbishop on Friday called for a national day of prayer as one of the strategies by which we can reduce the level of crime. There was little public demonstration of support from the government. I am yet to see a government minister says that we join or we stand in solidarity with the Catholic Church and that we are going to preach a message of unity, that we're going to help to use our platforms to spread a message of togetherness and love and to stamp out hate and division in our country. None. I have seen none of them. But I want to say to you that I am very proud of you, the supporters of the United Workers' Party, that joined us in the Wilton's Yard Vigil to help and join the Catholic Church and pray for the nation as the Archbishop called a moment of fasting and prayer a strategy to help crime from the spiritual component. And so while we're going to fix the economy and provide opportunity for young people, and while we're going to make sure that our borders are working well, we must also work with our civil society groups, especially church leaders, to make sure that we fight the spiritual component of crime in this country, to make sure that we leave no effort unturned so that St. Lucia can see a reduction in the murder rate of the country. So that the young man whom I met, the father of the baby, of the pregnant mother, who was gunned down, shattered by gunfire in a crossfire that she had nothing to do with. Her baby today is lifeless, and she has been robbed of the opportunity to see her young child blossom. That pride and that dignity that all of us feel as parents when we pick up our young one, when they pass their exams and go to a new school, when they graduate, when they start working and they start driving and get their driver's license, when they vote for the first time, all of that, that father whom I met have been robbed of those opportunities. And we must fight so that parents like him does not have to go through a similar ordeal. And so it was only today that one of the priests in the Catholic Church spoke about political hate speech. And this is a very important one that all of us must make sure that we listen to with self-introspection. That political hate speech can divide our country, can cause young people to think that they can solve their problems, not with love, not with compromise, not with discussion, but with hate. And so we must stand up against the bullies in politics. We must make sure that we stamp them out. And we must make sure that this is the last election that they can go on a talk show and criticize and abuse and victimize those of us who have a different political view. And so I speak very bluntly and clearly. This is not a time to be diplomatic about the issue. The criminals, they have unleashed war in our country. And unless we recognize that we are in a battle for this nation, unless we recognize that we are in a battle for the safety of our kids and the people we love, we will lose this war on many fronts. We have to stand up and fight this war, and together we will win this war together. So every Thursday night, the most despicable political show in St. Lucia teaches our young people how to hate someone because of the color of their skin. Every Thursday, our young people, our young men have been taught how to degrade the women of this country. Every Thursday night, people in St. Lucia are being taught how to hate people because of a different political persuasion. Every time the UWP has a press conference or a live, you will see the Labour Party hacks coming on to abuse you, the United Workers' Party supporters. You see that all the time. Every single time there's a press conference or a round table, you and Newspin, they come to abuse you. For a party that has won, they behave like the party that is so vexed. Why is it they're so angry? Why is it they have a problem with the United Workers' Party submitting differences of opinion in how to develop this country, in how to solve the many problems affecting our country? Why is it? We have a prime minister who stood up in the parliament and told his supporters that they should go in your faces and say, "You lose." How could that prime minister bring together the country? How could he unite the country with that type of attitude? We have a Speaker of the House who told the young men that the size of the guns that they're using is too small, that they need to use a bazooka instead. Whether you're short like Dominic or tall like Alan, it doesn't matter. He says that he's going to bring a bazooka, suggesting to everyone that you need to use the most powerful and violent weapon that there is available to your disposal. And when we have leaders, political leaders in our country behaving as such, we can never ever get on top of the crime situation in this country. And so I stand in solidarity with the priest who spoke today about the crime situation. But if we're going to change the spate of crime, if we're going to change this crime rate, we need to change the government. We need to change the policy. We need to change the direction. We need to change the leadership. We need to change the tone and the signal that's coming from the top. And this is where you, the supporters of the United Workers' Party, come in. I want to join Herod in saying to you that you need to campaign like you have never campaigned before. You need to canvass like you have never canvassed before. You need to register voters like you have never, ever before. This election is the most crucial of our party, of our country, of our history. Good night, Mamai Flabo. I thank you very much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was our deputy political leader and next representative for ancillary countries, Senator Dominic Fady. Now, you know, very often there are people behind the scenes who don't make a fuss, but they play a vital role. And I heard Dominic make a call to all of you to play your part. But forgive me, to all of the previous Flabo lives we have had before, I cannot help it. This is the biggest and the best that we have ever had. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a man who is behind all of this that we have not seen for the night. There is a guy who is a farmer, a teacher, a butcher. He's everything. But he's also the chairman of the Choiseul Saltibus constituency branch. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on Wacha to take a bow. A man behind the scenes making it happen. I want to tell Wacha that we have all taken a page from Choiseul Saltibus tonight. Going forward from now on, our Flabo Live will be bigger and better. Thank you very much, Wacha.
Mamai Choiseul, mamai Setlissi, mamai Latea. Mokadiot, travail, c'est ça, moi, intéressant. Ma j'aime, vous voyez comment devant, mais tout travail nous va faire, nous allons mener tout le monde ensemble, et c'est ça moi aimé. OK? So, on enjoy quoi nous, mais jouer l'élection, c'est jouer à mon playout là. Jouer l'élection, c'est jouer à mon playout là. Okay, the day of election, that is the day I want you all. Oh, thank you very much. And by the way, the people who did the canvassing, thank you very much. I like that. The way you all came out, I like that. I mean, I even want to cry. Thank you very much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. That was the chairman, the man behind it all, the man watcher, Henix Rennie. I just thought I had to big up Henix. You know, I was told, in fact, Charlie in Alaska said to me, I talk about the United States, but I did not mention Alaska, and that there are many people in Alaska who are tuned in right now to the Flabo Live. Shout out to you in Alaska. I also got a note which says that this is the warmest Alaska has been in history with the Flabo Live tonight. I also want to big up Cool Vibes Radio in England. Clint, I know you're listening. I know you're tuned in. You know they're going after him, but they can't put out the light of the Flabo, and it will shine throughout the universe. England, USA, Alaska, all over the diaspora. The Flabo is blazing, and nothing can stop that. I've always said, and I'll say again, nothing can stand in the way of momentum. And if the SLP want to be crushed into pieces, let them stand in our way. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the biggest Flabo Live to date. Now, you know, I suspect everybody from now on will try to outdo Choiseul. So, I want to say, take it easy. Because on the 3rd, you're listening to me? Because I see you all, the way you all come out here tonight, you're all ready for that now. On the 3rd, that was not supposed to happen tonight. That big rally that's taking place here tonight. On the 3rd is when the real rally will be taking place in Castries. And I want everybody to find themselves there. I'm not supposed to tell you all that, but you all have been so great. I will give you all a little secret. All the candidates will be presented on that night. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are a few I did not mention, but you will see them on the 3rd. And you have nothing to worry about because the 4th is a holiday. But on the 3rd, you'll get all 17 candidates presented to you by the captain, the next Prime Minister, Honorable Alan Michael Shastney. But you know, pardon? It's not? Oh, the 1st is the holiday. My apologies. But the 3rd is a Sunday, so you can come out. Instead of a Flabo Live, you'll be having a massive rally. That will be the mother of all rallies in St. Lucia. So, ladies and gentlemen, another secret. You know why Watcher and his people organized that big Sunday Live tonight that looking more like a rally than a Sunday Live? They did that for their candidate. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will not keep him waiting any longer. The man for whom we have gathered here tonight. You all ready to flex again? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to the podium the current parliamentary representative of Choiseul Saltibus, the man who will flex again come the next general election and be a part of Alan Shastney's cabinet. I present to you Bradley Felix, the next continuing parliamentary rep for Choiseul Saltibus.
You had a vision for all in the community. Your massive project shook the earth wonderfully. You fixed all the roads and you light up our fields. Oh Bradley, you are the leader.
delivering. Voting you now is all we can do to achieve. If this isn't progress, don't wake me up from this dream. 'Cause proudly, oh proudly, you build it yourself from the ground. We all see the progress, so there is no turning back now. For 5 years we know you working so hard, proudly and Choiseul will not.
Choiseul, Saltibus, good night. Mamai Flabo, bonsoir. You know, in everything we have to give thanks. Before I give my contribution tonight, I would like to thank my brothers and sisters, my colleagues of the United Workers' Party for being here with me in solidarity of our life. I would like each and every one of you all to give them a big hand of applause. Sister Laura from Library. Sister Laura, come. Brother Elisha from Micoud North. Sister Liana from Viewfort South. Brother Chico from Castries East. Brother Dominic from Ancillary Canries. Brother Descat from Castries South East. South. Sister Marcella from Grosile. Brother Stephen Fevrier, where are you? Brother Herod Stanislas. Brother Guy Joseph, where are you? And the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Brother Alan Chasney. I want to thank these men and women from the bottom of my heart for taking that trip down to the furthest point of the north to be with us here tonight. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I also want to thank the people of Choiseul Saltibus. My brothers and sisters, if any one of y'all believe that y'all can win the next election on your own, rethink that. The people are responsible for your victory, and you must always give thanks to them. Always be real with your people. Do not tell your people what you think they want to hear, but tell them the reality as it is. Because if you give your people false hope, you will have to deal with the consequences of that. So to all my brothers and sisters of Choiseul Saltibus, I love you from the bottom of my heart. That is not a fake, that is not a pretense. You feel it and I feel it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, yesterday, the political leader indicated that he was not just going to come for the live today, but he would come a day before to spend some time in the community. But before we went around Choiseul Saltibus, well, pretty much we were in the Delsa area because, you know, everybody wanted to hug the political leader. Nobody wanted him to leave, so we had a real challenge on our hands. So I apologize to those who did not meet with him yesterday, but we will be making our rounds. But one of the first things we did is we went and gave Herod some support at Fonjean-Lib. Fonjean-Lib is supposed to be called the Valley of the Free People. And while we were there, Herod invited us a little later to come for some bouillon. Unfortunately, we could not have made it. But after Herod tonight, I wish I had some of that bouillon. Because that bouillon had a fire. Herod, I thank you very much. My brother, I love you, and I'm going to be there with you. But tonight, I want to give you some sobering figures, brothers and sisters, especially the people of Choiseul Saltibus. In the last general elections, we had almost 1,000 people from this constituency, I-1, who did not cast their votes. Just I-1 alone, about 1,000 people. Now there may be a few in there whose names had not been taken out and they have passed. But the figure is still a very high figure, too high of a figure. We also, in this I-1, we dropped by almost 200 votes from 2016. Now I know there was a lot of confusion. A lot of people were uncertain. There were also many people who thought we had won already. We must never make that mistake again. In Choiseul Saltibus as a whole, there were almost 4,000 people who did not go out and vote. Almost 4,000 people. My brothers and sisters on Team Flambeau, you need to identify the people who did not go out and vote and go to them. It is very important. Do not take anything for granted. Brothers and sisters, when you have a minority people turning out to vote, you get a government in support of a minority. And you will notice now is a minority that's benefiting. A minority is benefiting. But when we come out in the large numbers, our voice is louder and they will have to listen. They will have to listen. So brothers and sisters, the mistakes that we made in the last election, taking things for granted, not going and vote, ensure that you put on your boots, you put on whatever, if it's a raincoat, an umbrella, a hat to protect yourself, be out there. No matter how long the line is, but you're voting for a change, not just for your constituency, but for the country. It's very important, brothers and sisters. And I want each and every one of you all to reflect on that. Because the hypocrisy of this government is very, very, very glaring. You all will remember when they were in opposition, the things they said that was wrong. And these things that they said that were wrong, they were multiplying it right now by 100. The victimization, and I'm sure the political leader will tell you about his own constituency, but the victimization of the Choiseul Saltibus constituency has never been seen like that before. You see it in your roads, in your roadsides. You've heard about the community centers. You've seen it in your healthcare. I can tell you the number of times they have called for meetings in Choiseul to provide people with work, and I have not been invited as the parliamentary rep. My brothers and sisters, Currently, there's ongoing works where they've been giving people contracts for 3 months to clean the roadside. They wrote me a letter asking me to submit a few names. My names have not been given any work. Victimization. But I'll tell you something. The people's eyes are open. The people are aware. And when they go around telling people that they are giving this parliamentary representative money to take care of the people, I will break it down for you, brothers and sisters. I will break it down for you. Don't forget, this constituency is the largest, second to Grozile alone. And when you tell me you want to give the parliamentary rep of this constituency $100,000 every 3 months to take care of all the needs of the people, that's a travesty. The last time we got any assistance to assist the people with their housing needs was in 2023. And I have a list, and hurricane season is upon us. And I can tell you, our constituency, Choiseul Saltibus, has a very high senior citizen and vulnerable population. And these people cannot work like they used to. So they're not in a position to change the leaking roofs, the rotten plywoods, the doors that are falling down. And so they come to the parliamentary rep for assistance. And I have a very, very, very long list of people that I just cannot. And it pains me that the government can provide $1 million to their current reps, and I'm not getting anything. I am not getting anything. The next election, we have to right the wrong, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, I have people, I can tell you, who have urgent medical needs in this constituency. And they come to me. And I would like to give them full support. But because of the number of people who come to me, I have to spread that money far and wide. And it hurts me. It hurts me when, despite the fact that you give them a little $500, that is just a drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket. And the health facilities will not look at them if they cannot come up with the money. And they're doing all of that in an attempt to frustrate my supporters. My supporters are holding strong. And they're going to be with me when that next election call to right the wrong. Brothers and sisters, as I was telling y'all, $100,000 every 3 months to do a little drain alone costs me about $75,000. And one of the things I have to try to do is to try to cut it up in so many small pieces to try to help as many people as possible. And it has always been, regardless of how much I get, whether it's big or small, that is what I always do. Cut it up to help the people. And Honorable Guy Joseph and a former Prime Minister will tell you, when the Saltibus Road contract was issued and it was given to a contractor, I said to them at the time, there are too many people in this constituency who can do masonry work. I can understand they may not have the proficiency to do the asphalt on the road, but I would like to carve out all the drains, all the retaining walls to give to the people in the constituency. And we were able to share that with over 25 contractors. And you know what they did? They tried to blame Guy Joseph for giving endless direct awards. Well, I'll tell you something. If the direct awards are to help the small people in this country, we'll continue giving direct awards. Because they took the one man who's getting all the work in this country right now to look at a road in Tetmon. And I can tell you, in that community of Riverdore Tetmon, every household must have somebody that can do masonry work. And all you had to do was get each one of them a piece, but they give it to one man. We have to right the wrong. This government, regardless of what they tell you, looks after the people. We take care of the people of St. Lucia. We don't just take care of a few, we take care of all. And I can tell the Labour Party people tonight of Choiseul Saltibus, there were about 2,500 of y'all who supported the Labour Party in the last elections. I want to know if your life is better. Have they put you first? Did they put you first? Because you drive cars. You drive cars. Your car is taking the same clock as the flambeau car. The healthcare facilities affects you and the flambeau supporter. The high prices of fuel affect you and the flambeau supporter. The high cost of living affect you and the flambeau supporter. Brothers and sisters, open your eyes. Open your eyes. I have said that the last government under Alan Chasney did something that had not been done before. He focused on the south of the island. And had we been in office today, all of our tidings would have been better in this part of the island. All of us. And that is why I've been telling people that Lady Lee will give some people some serious headache after the elections. Because for a constituency that had a prime minister for 15 years and a parliamentary rep for 30 years, how much attention has been given to that constituency? And Alan Chasney wanted to put so much resources in that constituency. Brothers and sisters, open your eyes and right the wrong. I am very grateful for the large turnout tonight. You know what it is? It's a signal that more and more of you are awakening. More and more of you are beginning to speak out. People I know who were quiet before are beginning to say what they're feeling and how it is. Don't worry. Salvation is soon. Salvation will come soon. And on the 3rd of August, I want to ensure that when we turn out in the numbers, there will be earthquake. And they will be watching us. They will be watching us from the corners of their eyes, under their lives, in their windows. And they will be saying, I better pack up and go. Because when we come here, when we come back in, brothers and sisters, and it is very important that you recognize why we must come back in. Because our country needs saving. Our country needs saving. And when you have a prime minister or a political leader like Alan Chasney with the kind of energy that he has, who does not sleep, I can tell you, you can be sure, you can rest assured, work will be done. And he thinks outside of the box, brothers and sisters. He does not think like the normal politician. He thinks about how to get things done to benefit the country. He's not the man who said it was done like that so many years, I will just continue that pattern. Things are changing. The world is changing. And we need a prime minister who can think fast on his feet to take this country into the next century. So, brothers and sisters, again, thank you very much. Choiseul, Saltibus, we have this seat. But let's not take it for granted. Let us turn out. The earlier we turn out, the better. The earlier we come out, the better. Because when we come out, We will identify those who had not yet come out, and we go and get them to come and vote. Sister Saraya. I'll tell you, Sister Saraya has a special gold color that she sprays her hair when election season is here. And we will see it soon. Thank you, sister. So, brothers and sisters, I don't have much time. But I want to say thanks to my council for doing a tremendous job here. Watcha and his team, thank you very much. I want to thank the people who volunteered to do the flag raising, the flag on the polls. I want to thank you very much. There are young people who are not even ready to vote, and they have been helping. And I want to thank each and every one of you. But the day I'm going to thank you in a very big way is the day after elections. Because all of us would have made a decision, not just for ourselves, my brothers and sisters, but for our children and our country. I thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from your parliamentary representative, Bradley Felix, the man Flex, who will be re-elected as the representative for Choiseul Saltibus. Now, I came here, and when I see what is happening here, I looked at that crowd, I went outside, and I said, wow, what a crowd. But it also means for the first time, our numbers on the live will be low because everybody is here tonight. But I just checked the live. And on Facebook, we have over 800 people watching. And on YouTube, we have 1,400 people watching. Brian Charles, they call that nothing? And look at the amount of people that are here tonight. I am pleased. We are heading in the right direction. Now, I made a statement earlier. I said nothing stands in the way of momentum. You know where that momentum really started? Last Sunday, I went to the constituency of Micoud South, and we had a live there. And that is where I saw the spirit really began. And from there, we are going uphill. We are building up. And I want to announce tonight, how many Sundays are there before the 3rd? That's how many rallies we're going to have before that big rally. Because from now on, we, the people of Flambeau, are coming out in our numbers to let our voices be heard and for each and every one of us to be counted. Because the time has come. Ladies and gentlemen, talking about momentum. We are all standing firm with the United Workers' Party, and we are all working hard with our leader. That leader who has proven himself to be a visionary, to be a master leader, to be creative and innovative, and that was proven during the time of COVID-19. St. Lucia handled the COVID-19 crisis with admiration from the rest of the world. And when every other island was registering hundreds of deaths, St. Lucia only had 80 people who had died. And only after the St. Lucia Labour Party came, in a matter of a short space of time, we had over 400 people dying. That said to me, it was not just happenstance, it was leadership that made the difference. And so, we were the first country to reopen to the world. When Alan Chastanet announced that we must learn to coexist with COVID, that was like a foreign language. Then he said, we have to be able to manage to juggle lives and livelihood. And ladies and gentlemen, before long, St. Lucia was reopened, and we were leading the way in the tourist industry ahead of countries like Barbados. I want to present to you a man of foresight, a visionary, a man with a proven track record, a worker, a transformational leader, the next Prime Minister of your country, St. Lucia. And when your country is in the doldrums as it is today, that is the kind of man that you need. I present to you wholeheartedly the Honorable Alan Michael Chasney, your next Prime Minister for St. Lucia.
Action speaks louder than words. Don't be deceived by all those fancy talkers. Action speaks louder than words. Don't be deceived by all those fancy talkers. 'Cause a man can say, he'll turn your night into day. And a man can say, he'll take your sufferings away. And a man can say, he'll roll your dark clouds away. When it comes to
Wow. My brothers and sisters of Choiseul, my brothers and sisters of our Flambeau family, and all our brothers and sisters who are watching us live, thank you so very much for your support. You know, we're talking about thinking outside the box. So when I went to, where was it? St. Jude's. So this is a story I have not told everybody. So I was on my way to Auger to meet my very good sister, Lady Lee. And as I was passing the entrance of St. Jude's, the old St. Jude's, the new St. Jude's, I saw a building in the distance that had been painted red. I said to myself, don't tell me that these guys have gone to that level to paint the hospital red. So I reversed the car. Well, Boyce reversed the car. And we drove up to the gate. So when I got to the gate, I see this big red building in front of me. So I started taking pictures of it. So the security guy came and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm taking pictures." He said, "You don't have permission to take pictures." I said, "Well, boss, let me say something to you. You see on that side of the fence, you're the goopy chak. But you see over here, I'm in public space taking pictures of a public building." So a man in the distance who was inside the building. So there's two parts of the box. One is the dialysis lab and the other one is the rehabilitation lab. But two smaller boxes, but boxes. So a fella was standing in between the red in one of those buildings. And he's yelling at me, "You say you fool the people. You fool the people. You gave the people a box." So I said, "But my brother, you're standing in the box." He said, No. That's the box." I said, "No, bruds. You're in the box." He said, "No, I'm not in no box." I said, "Do me a favor. Step out of the box, turn around so you can see that you are in the box." One of the things
that I have really come to understand is that the Labour Party really, really does not know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. No, they don't know. Because nobody could have such a bad heart to put the kind of pain that you've put onto the people of this country. No person could lie to that extent. I'm telling you, nobody can. So it tells me that they don't know the difference between right and wrong. They don't. And that is what's making them so dangerous. That is why they can lie so bold-faced, because they do not see that they're doing anything wrong. They can't see it. Because I'm trying to understand how a person who could see what is going on at St. Jude's, as an example, would need an explanation. Let us understand. When we got into government, we inherited an old building that they had already spent $130 million. And after 7 years, they could not finish the building. $130 million. And after 7 years, because remember the 2 years under Stephenson King and the 5 years underneath them, they could not finish the building. I remember when Guy and Mary went down there. And they called me up from the site. They say, boy, PM, look problem. I said, what you mean? They have a guy there pushing a little wheelbarrow and taking blocks from this side and bringing the blocks to the other side. And then the blocks that he brought the last trip, he's putting them back in the wheelbarrow and bringing them back to the other side. He said, there's nothing going on here. Left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Left foot doesn't know where the right foot is going. And there's no head. So he said, okay, let us go and do an investigation. Now, they would say to you, and they would say to all of us, that the United Workers' Party made a mistake in hiring professional people and paying them $1 million to go and do the investigation. You hear that? They would convince you that that was wrong. But you see, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. It was a smart thing to do. Because if you've already had spent $130 million and it was going nowhere, and Kenny Anthony's own report said that they had to spend another $100 million. So that means $230 million. Don't you think the right thing to do is to get professional people to tell you what to do? If you pay peanuts, you're going to get monkeys. That's what you're going to get. So we had the report commission. And the report said that the hospital is not even near completion. That it was going to take at least another $100 million. At least another $100 million. And it was going to take at least a year and a half, possibly 2 years, to finish the building. But they said they will not know the complete picture until they go in and break down some of the walls to see what the quality of the electricity is and the quality of the water is. And after we did the assessment, we said, look, what is going to be faster and what is going to be cheaper? Is it faster and cheaper to go back and try to fix the old hospital that was never a hospital to begin with? Or do we build a brand new building that is designed specifically to be a hospital? That's the question. So they came back and they said, a new hospital that would be $180 million and would take us about 3.5 years to complete. State of the art. And we had to make that very tough decision. And I remember the day going to the doctors and the nurses and all the persons who were working at St. Jude's. I remember the day like yesterday, and we were upstairs in the boardroom. To say to them, in my honest opinion, it was better to stay in the stadium and let us build a new hospital. People cried. I'm not going to lie to you. People were annoyed, and they had every right to be annoyed. But that was the truth. And here we are. Some people will say, well, you started the building, but you didn't finish the building. As if COVID didn't exist. I couldn't get the crew in. We couldn't get the material in. But did I ever come to you and cry? I took it like a man and continued right to the end to try to finish the hospital as best as we possibly could and as fast as we could. Now, when this government came in, they had a choice. Do you continue building the new building, or do you go back to the old building? Remember, it's the same question. What is going to be faster and what is going to be cheaper? Okay? What is going to be faster and what's going to be cheaper? So this government had told all of us that all you needed was $30 million and some chemical, and you'll be able to move back into the old hospital. They brought some people together who had been supporting them during the campaign to produce a report. And they paid them nothing. The people were supposed to be patriots. And they came and did this for free. And told them it was cheaper and faster to go back into the old hospital. So my people, I tell you, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. So here we are, 4.5 years later. They're not in. So it was not faster. Their own people they paid no money to said 18 months to finish the brand new hospital. 18 months, that means we would have been in almost a year and a half ago. We would already be in the new building. No, in the new one. And we would have only spent another $80 million. $80 million. So that means we now know that they're not ready to move in. They've spent $260 million. So it means the report that we paid the $1 million for was right. And we're going to move into a hospital that the day you move in, it's already old. So when Ray asked me what the hospital was like, I said to him, well, in my constituency, every weekend, they have a fete called Back in Time. Some of you may know it as an oldies party. Yes? I said, I know going to a Back in Time party is a good thing. I have never known going to a Back in Time hospital as being a good thing. And that is what we're getting, is a Back in Time hospital. Here it is, you want to make a bigger airport. You want to bring development into the south. And the hospitals are already too small. So I'm going to say this to you all. The Labour Party has no intentions of developing the south ever. None. No cruise ship port, no hotels, no Ojo Lab, no ITEL BPO, nothing. Not even farming, nothing. And the same way they have kept the people in Laborie and in Vieux-Fort South and Vieux-Fort North for the last 30 years is what they want to do to the two Micouds and also to Choiseul Saltibus. is that you must call your rep all the time and beg for something. United Workers' Party does not believe in that philosophy. United Workers' Party believes reduce the taxation on the people of this country. Put more ching 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 in your pockets. And hold the people who have jobs in the government accountable to deliver to the people of this country and not to waste money. But to do that, you must know the difference between the right and the wrong. And there is no place in which we now know the Labour Party does not know the difference between right and wrong than in crime in this country. They are perpetuating criminal behavior every day. They are supporting criminal activities. CIP, we don't know where the money is gone. NLA, we don't know who got the contracts and who got the money. We just know that the young people have been wronged. GPH, money gone, 40 years. Halls of Justice, Housing Ministry, moving money. Now, Dominic and Herod were telling a story about my friend Bradley in Parliament. So when we were in Parliament on Thursday, and we were debating a banking bill, and Richard Fedrick got up to speak. Now, if you go back and you watch the video of it, you basically will see me laughing hysterically. Okay? So much so they kept looking at me as like, what is this man laughing at? So I was laughing at two things. I was laughing at what Richard was saying, but I was laughing at my colleague, Bradley. Because I said to Bradley, I cannot believe that the Labour Party would allow Richard Fedrick to be the spokesperson on this bill. Right? And Richard got into a conversation about a thing that's called PEPs. PEPs is what the banks call politically exposed persons. Okay? So anybody who's in politics, who is in government, etc., because of corruption, they treat you very differently. They look at your accounts differently, they manage everything differently, and they ask you to provide more and more information because, sadly, around the world, there's many examples of politicians not knowing the difference between right and wrong. So Bradley said, what are you going to say? I said, well, I'm going to say the truth. He said, what's that? I said, I'm going to say, I cannot believe that Richard would be complaining about being a PEP when he exemplifies why we have laws to control politicians. Let's think about that for a moment. I tell you, the Labour Party does not know the difference between right and wrong. United Workers' Party made the decision many years ago to right the wrong. And one of those decisions was to kick Richard Fedrick out of United Workers' Party. And one of the reasons was that he lost his U.S. visa. Not only his personal visa, his diplomatic visa. And I would have said that in the House. And I said the people who went over to the embassy in Barbados to complain about Richard are the same people who are sitting here on the side with you today. So they know what you are. I said, the Bank of St. Lucia closed down your account. Why? Why did they close down your account? Every single scandal that is going on in the country in the past and today, Richard Frederick. Up to today, Richard Frederick cannot answer the question. All of these contracts under $100,000 that are being signed in the Ministry of Housing to build graves for people I'm not going to say, to build graves. Yes? On everybody's different names. People who don't live in constituencies. People who, they have a contractor who his girlfriend got the contract. I didn't know that you could transfer those skills that easily. You can't answer us and tell us what is going on. The Banans land that you sold because the housing board had to go to Richard as the minister to get his approval. So come and don't tell us you don't know. Telling us about you were the best valuator of land and you know what's going on, and you were selling land at Banans for $27 a square foot. Land that had been already valued at $67 a square foot 6 years earlier. A judge told Richard he does not believe him when he fired a gun and the bullet went by the guy's head. And Richard tried to say that was an accident. The judge, not me, the judge said he didn't believe him. I said, the same people here said that you were a money launderer. I said, the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia said that he will never have a drug baron in his cabinet. I said, not me. I am not the one who said it. I want to repeat that. I am not the one who said it. I'm repeating not what I just heard, what they said. So I said, my brother, you are the poster child of why we have PEP laws. It's because of you. And my brother Bradley said, brothers, if you go there today, we'd still be in Parliament. So you see, I went to Parliament in good spirit. I said nothing. They said nothing. And the Parliament ends. So it's only when we take them on and challenge them and to show them the difference between right and wrong that they get fashy. And then all of a sudden, everything is about Alan Chastney. So when the Labour Party came in and we were building the new forensic lab, and they have not continued that work, it's because they did not know the difference between right and wrong. When we had the border control system and separating it and bringing new boats in and strengthening the borders, they stopped it because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. When we had the canine dogs, and Dominic told you, the canine dogs we had here have gone to Jamaica. You all hear that? The canine dogs that we had here have gone to Jamaica. And the reason why that's happening is because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. When you have a senior police officer, of which the commissioner of police said that when he read the report, it was frightening, and that person is allowed to stay on duty right now, they don't know the difference between right and wrong. When the canine dog is killed and nobody says anything for 8 days, it's because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. When 12 people will get killed in 2 weeks, and that you see it more as a priority to recognize the president of Nigeria here and not to understand, maybe, all of the police presence and taking them all over the place and the police going from here to there, and all of a sudden crime is going out of control. They didn't say anything and they did not do anything because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. You see what I'm saying? It's not a matter of them knowing what they're doing is wrong. Because if they knew what they were doing wrong, they would not be able to lie so good. So it can only be that they believe in their heart. They're telling you the truth because they don't know the difference between right and wrong. And I don't know what is worse, because my colleague said, no, they know. They know the difference. I said, no, they don't. And not knowing the difference is worse. You know why? Because they could never right the wrong. If you don't know the difference between right and wrong, then you could never right the wrong. And that's why you need to bring the United Workers' Party back into office. Because it's only the United Workers' Party that knows the difference between right and wrong. When you go to Choiseul and you see the development that was taking place, you go to Soufrière and you see what was taking place. And they love to tell you how the United Workers' Party likes to victimize labor. Really? The airport was being built in Vieux Fort South. The hospital was being built in Auger Vieux Fort. The cruise ship port was coming to Vieux Fort. Ojo and ITEL came to Vieux Fort to help young people in those constituencies get jobs. You know why? Because we know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. You cannot develop the country in only pockets. Remember, this is the same Labour Party that when they were doing the East Coast Road, the road stopped at Canals and began in Pralet. And as Bradley said, so you're telling me only Flabo people drive on the road between Canals and Pralet? Only them? That's why they don't know the difference between right and wrong. They couldn't see that what they were doing was wrong, even when the wrong is to hurt themselves. That is why I'm saying to all of us, Labour Party is going to do everything to protect the victory. When we went down to do the vigil, we said, don't wear any colors. Just come as brothers and sisters. And I repeat that to all of us. There's nobody in the Labour Party I hate. Not one. There's no hatred in my heart. So when the Prime Minister says, oh, you're upset in this, no, sir. I answer to a greater person, and that is the Lord. And I will never be upset with the Lord. I learned to accept what the Lord has given me. And if he wanted me to be in opposition, it's because there was something I was supposed to learn to make sure that when we come back into office, that we can right the wrong. I thank you very much.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we just heard our next Prime Minister talking about righting the wrong. Now, we know we're in trouble in this country. When in a peaceful, calm community like Choiseul, you have drive-by shootings. Not to scare anyone, but there was a drive-by shooting this evening in Victoria. Fortunately, the young man is still alive, and we're hoping that he will survive. There was also a shooting in Castries, Southeast today. So, under the St. Lucia Labour Party government with Philippe J. Pierre, the show continues. Crime out of hand. Now remember, when you all talk about crime in St. Lucia, you only talk about gun violence where people die. I want you to know, when the political leader, our next Prime Minister, said that there were 12 killings in 2 weeks. There were many more people who were shot but did not die, thankfully. So crime is really out of hand in this country, and we must do something about it. I want to take this opportunity to inform you that on Monday, tomorrow, we'll have, like it is from 8 o'clock, and my special guest is Liana Johannes Paul, Lady Lee, and I am asking that you join me. On Tuesday, we will have the Flabo press briefing from 10 o'clock in the morning. You can join us on live stream. On Thursday, we'll have Meet the Opposition from 9 in the morning. You can also join us then. Also on Thursday, I want to ask that our supporters listen to Cool Vibes Radio. It's a UK-based radio of one of our people. The show starts at 2 p.m. St. Lucian time, and for those of you in the UK, it's 7 p.m. So you can join Clint on Cool Vibes Radio. And of course, on Sunday, where are we going to be? Okay, Fire FM. Okay, Fire FM. I was told to remind you that we have Fire FM that is broadcasting every day, so please listen. We have Garfield on a Tuesday night. Please listen in. Tune to all of our Flabo shows, because that is where you get true, bona fide information. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say, it was a great feeling having this Flambeau Live in Choiseul tonight. And I must say that you have been a wonderful audience, and I can feel even more heat coming from the people who are on live stream around St. Lucia and in the diaspora. But to close the show tonight, we would be incomplete if I did not bring on one more guy. Don't worry, I am not going to spoil a great show. Things have been excellent here tonight, so I will not make any mistakes right now. We are here to right the wrong, not to do anything wrong. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will in fact bring to you the right guy. So please put your hands together. Help me welcome to the podium the next parliamentary representative for Castries Southeast, Guy Joseph, the right guy.
Come to me wild and wild. You come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. Speak the language of love like you know what it means. And it can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it strong. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Mamai Flabo. Good night, Choiseul and Saltibus. Good night, supporters of the United Workers' Party. Good night to those of you in the diaspora, and especially those in Orlando, Florida, who are following us. I want to shout out the Shangu family. Tonight, we are in Choiseul. They'll say, to be more precise, a constituency that loves the parliamentary rep. And a parliamentary rep who has made all of us proud as supporters of the United Workers' Party. Now, there's been a lot of firepower tonight. I heard my friend Herod in fine form tonight. But you know, he said, Pierre said about put it in your pipe and smoke it. But PIP is what? Peep. And what is peep? So, peep has already been smoking. I'm not the one who said he is PIP. That's what I learned in the political arena. Peep Pierre. Okay. So, tonight, you've heard a lot in Castries Southeast going on. I don't get involved in the people business, you know. Everybody want to say is because I'm in the political arena that labor is in total disarray in Castries Southeast. But I warned them. I told them about Delilah. I told them to be careful, but they would not listen. Now they're crying. And when I say about crying, when I tell them they just start crying, they say I say something wrong. Flabo not interfering in labor business. But for you Flabos, I have a message. Leave people business alone and mind your own business. Our business is to support our candidates and our leader. Labor cannot even figure out who their candidate should be, but they want to tell you who UWP's candidate should be. And some of you repeat the foolishness of the Labour Party. They can't find somebody to run against Bradley. They're still searching. But it really doesn't make a difference whether they have a candidate or not, because Bradley is remaining as the parliamentary rep. So they said in Castries Southeast, there's no chance for the candidate, so they try nothing. Running the country is not about trying something, you know. We need to right the wrongs that have been done to this country by the St. Lucia Labour Party. And so, I need to respond to something very quickly. Miss Alison Jean wrote me a lawyer's letter, and she went on the media. She said if I don't respond in 10 days, she's suing me. I have two problems to be sued. I don't drink any alcohol. So, and I don't know what she wants to sue me for. Now she said, her name is nowhere in the Linguist report. Now, I want to tell St. Lucian something. Guy Joseph do not make up stories about politicians or anybody else. If I do not have evidence for something, I do not say it. And of all persons who should know that is Alison Jean. And while you are boasting, Alison, about your reputation and your status as PS, you forgot to tell St. Lucia how you became a PS. So the next time you do an interview, tell the people of St. Lucia who made you a PS. I will leave that for now. You think you have such a good reputation? Ask the public servant who, when we implemented the biggest portion of the budget we had 70% implementation of the budget of Ministry of Communications and Works. When you did the evaluation of the officer, you gave them a score of 17 out of 141. And I want you to explain that to the chief engineer and tell him how he scored only 17 when the ministry implemented its budget better than any other minister prior to my tenure as minister. You see, when I was on Team's show, you called the program and you gave wrong information about FIDIC contract and defects liability period. But you want to talk about reputation? You want to talk about integrity? Let me tell you, that's not something you buy in a store, you know. That is not something that you go and you get it as a degree in a school, you know. It is who you are as a person that determines whether you have integrity or not. And if what I said is not enough, let me remind you, my personal secretary in the ministry, you gave her the worst appraisal that a minister's secretary could get without consulting me, the direct supervisor of the secretary. And the record should be in her file to show that my comment contradicted every bad appraisal you gave to that secretary. You see, some people rise to a level and they step on as many persons as they can to get there. The United Workers' Party does not work like that. And so you said, your name is nowhere in the report. It's amazing. You said you had a report. And can you believe a reporter calls me? And the reporter tells me, well, you said that and you said you have evidence. Can you show me the evidence? So I said to the reporter, she told you she had a copy of the report. You didn't ask her for it. You asking me? Now I have my evidence, you know. But it wasn't for the reporter. So, I want, while you at it, Alison Jean, and you tell me I'm unfit for public office. So let me read something on a page in the linguist report. Page 56, under the title, Attorney Work Product, Anthony Leo Chronology. Dear Tony, now note the man's name, Anthony. And if a permanent secretary is writing in a professional capacity, you do not address the person by their first name or a nickname or a casual name. So November 23rd, you said, Dear Tony. And then it says, Tony Anthony at lcaribbeanconstruction.com. City Furniture. Please find attached the document from City Furniture for follow-up. Thanks for your assistance, Alison A. Jean. Now I don't know whether there's another Alison Jean in the ministry or whether there was another one at the time, Mrs. Alison A. Jean. But if maybe there's a mistake, it says City Furniture, Pembroke Pines, Florida, sold to Alison Jean, 21 Carilli Park, Castries. Five pieces of furniture valued at $2,967.79. That is US. And the sales rep is Sandra, and her cell phone is given. So for somebody who said that her name is nowhere, can you tell the people of St. Lucia when you will want to call Guy Joseph a liar, that you can explain what happened there? And I can give you 20 other instances where her name is. December 3rd, Permanent Secretary, Miss Alison Jean. Please find certificate number 1 attached for 25% advance payment. After checking with the previous consultant, I was advised to submit to you. Please advise if this is incorrect or the process at your earliest convenience. So, and while I'm at it, Stevenson King, I have the tickets that was paid for you and your wife. You know, there are things that have happened in this country. I have been the target of the Labour Party for a long time. But I'm not disturbed by that. Because I've told my colleagues, the day I have to start telling lies in politics to be elected, it is time for me to make my exit from politics. I refuse to tell a lie about an individual in the political arena. If I am given wrong information which I believe to be reliable and I use it, and I use it wrongly, I will come and apologize. I have no problems with that. But you can't tell me your name is appearing so many times in a report. You come and you tell the reporters you have. I want you to bring the linguist report that you have that doesn't have your name. And let them decide who is speaking the truth. That's as much as I will say on that. You think it's you alone that can take people to court? Wait on me, and we will get there. Now, this team of the United Workers' Party, this is no ordinary team. This is the best team to right the wrong in St. Lucia. We have experienced parliamentarians. We have experienced ministers. We have those who have not been ministers but have served at different levels and in different capacities, both in St. Lucia and overseas. And I want you to know that St. Lucia has the best possible team in government waiting. I am waiting. I told you about the ethnicity and the demographics of this team. But wait till you see the bios of each of these candidates. And then you will understand why there is hope for St. Lucia. There is hope for the future of this country. This is not about being elected as a parliamentarian. This is about righting the wrong that has been done to the people of this country. Now, Labour Party has not answered my question, and I'm going to ask again. Who is the person on this page of the manifesto that the Labour Party asked the question, could a murderer be the next Prime Minister of St. Lucia? I believe every media house in this country has a right to demand an answer from the St. Lucia Labour Party. They tell me Bruce Tucker is around. And he's making rounds in Choiseul. Now, I want Labour Party to tell us what they know about Bruce Tucker. And it is amazing that here's what Labour Party said in 2011. None of us is safe. And you know whose picture is next to it? Stevenson King. I'm not the one who printed the Labour Party manifesto. And none of us is safe is written in yellow. And the picture next to it is Stevenson King. All of a sudden, he is senior minister and he is Mr. this and Mr. that. But this is the same king who bent over for Wycliffe. I'm not the one who said it. The Labour Party said it. And who threatened Lady Janice? I see Stevenson King's picture next to that caption. So Micoud North, when you see people want to behave a certain way, they have other ministers, you know, there. But I want them to declare their hand. When they declare their hand, I will deal with it accordingly. All the things they tell you about Guy Joseph, they couldn't find one thing to put Guy Joseph in the 2011 manifesto. You see, I want you to understand that the Labour Party is a party of liars. Now, I want to say to you, Mr. King, you did an interview. Oh no, you on the Labour Party platform in Dennery North. And you want to say Sapa Flambeau. You right. You know why you right? Because tout temps t'es là, Sapa te Flambeau. Ou pas te Flambeau. You know why you are not Flambeau? Because that is the party who took you from being a messenger and made you prime minister, and you turn around and you betrayed this party. Yes. Now, here's the truth about you. Because I tell you, I don't tell lies about people. We took you from being a messenger to the prime minister. But it is obvious you never graduated from being a messenger. You have not graduated up to now. You are still a messenger. And then y'all will tell me I don't respect y'all. So, when I came into government, at least I had completed my studies at Mon Technical College. Labour said I didn't have education. I'm this, I'm that. They attacked Stevenson King. They said the only thing he had was a birth certificate because he wasn't married yet. So he didn't have a marriage certificate. You've been in politics how many years before me? During that time, I have acquired a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And the only new certificate you have is a marriage certificate. And Labour Party want to say, you are senior minister, you are senior this, and you are senior that. You know why you have the title of senior minister? Because you are a snake and a betrayer. That is what you did to the United Workers' Party. And let me say something to us in St. Lucia. It is not politics that make people who they are. You see, when you come with your bad traits in politics, it eventually shows up. So c'est pas politics qui ka fait moun mauvais. Les moun han mauvais che yo, ek yo vin en politics, mauvais a ka revele koy. You've always been a traitor and a betrayer. You never liked Sir John Stevenson King. And I know that because I was part of the team when y'all were trying to bring Vaughan to overthrow Sir John. Use Sir John to win the elections and try to overshadow him by bringing in Vaughan as Prime Minister. Yes, when we came from the war room, y'all went to the Mon to report to Vaughan Lewis everything that was happening. You've been a Judas from day one. And don't tell me it's politics that make people a Judas. So, I'm not calling people names. And names also signify character and quality. So, le moun bawano. C'est pas maman qui baptise ou c'est pas. It is your behavior that baptizes you as a snake. You on the program on Sunday night. How everything's so good in UWP. How everything's so alright with you and Alan. Next day you announce yourself independent candidate and all your t-shirts was in St. Lucia. Your office was painted. And you tell me that's the character of an individual we want in the governance of this country? You mean integrity means nothing? Ek Alison Jean sans honte. You want to call Guy Joseph and say Guy Joseph is unfit for office? And the people who have betrayed this country and sold us out, you dare with them. But I will deal with you in due course. When you announce yourself in the political arena, I will deal with you. But I want to tell you, all snakes and traitors are where they belong in the St. Lucia Labour Party. They just begin to experience one in Castries Southeast. Today they had protests. Laissez flabo qui n'a ti désagrément. Hot tout à l'aise. Ada hot se flabo en dida. Some of you in it. Oh, ça fait flambeau dehors là. So ça fait les babas dehors là. You see, we must come to understand that there is only one government that can fix the issues of this country, and it is the United Workers' Party. Now they told me I can only mention El Guapo 3 times. You know, Labour Party is doing some real wickedness to the people of this country. When you can bring Richard Frederick, well, whether you want to say Frederica, El Guapo, or RF, UWP got rid of Richard from the politics. Everybody was breathing a sigh of relief in this country. Can you believe Philip J. Pierre and the Labour Party brought back Richard Frederick on the backs of the people of St. Lucia? And Frederick is just bad news. Everywhere Frederick has been is bad news. We know that. St. Lucia, we can't pretend, you know. We may overlook certain things. The Labour Party afraid of him. But they can't do without him. You understand where we are as a country? So when we talk about fixing this country, let us right that wrong and get rid of Richard Frederick and the entire Labour Party once and for all in the history of the politics of this country. Now, here's what Labour Party does. They pay you for not working and they pay you for retiring. You don't understand? That went over your head. You can pay you pour venir run politics. You can faire 5 ans de ka draw salaire, you pas fait rien. Et you can pay you pour quitter. You get it? So whose money you think paying them? Whose money you think paying them? So you really think after all that was said in Castries Southeast that the candidate said, up to the last sitting of parliament, he tell you he's the candidate. And all of a sudden a press release comes out. I wonder how much that press release cost. Me wonder combien l'argent press release a coûté. Because that's not the first one, you know. You have, let me tell you something. Nobody on this team of the United Workers' Party is being paid to run a seat for UWP. For that matter, great sacrifices have been made by persons like Mr. Descat, Mr. Fevrier, Marcella, Chico. You think our friend from Micoud North, Elisha. Huh? The thing about it is we put country first. It is not about money. Because all of us, we make a comfortable living outside of politics. Qui sa Girard te ka fait avant il vient en politics? Qui sa Alva te ka fait avant il vient en politics? A little traffic controller at the airport. Some Ernest Hille, all his life is a leech. Somebody has always had to pay his salary. Let me tell you, when I left school, I worked for 1 year as a supervisor in a warehouse. Ek men di guy who ka ped town travail by moun. So at the age of 19, I became self-employed. And the next time I worked for somebody was when I became a minister in government. I worked for the people of St. Lucia, and my work speaks for itself in Castries Southeast. So we need to understand why this country is where it is today. Now I want to tell you, for Labour Party, it is all about protecting the victory. for the United Workers' Party, we have to right the wrong that has been done to the people of St. Lucia. Whether it's the price of fuel, the price of bread, the state of health care, the escalating crime, and the neglect of constituencies like Saltibus, Choiseul, and Soufrière, and environs. We, as the United Workers' Party, we must right these wrongs. But here's the thing I want you to remember tonight. Voting for SLP is like committing suicide. I will repeat that. To vote for SLP is like committing suicide. Some of you are old enough to remember Jim Jones. This famous American preacher who took a group of just under 1,000 Americans and brought them to the jungle in Guyana to build them a paradise. And then when things were not working out, he mixed a portion of poison. Kool-Aid. Red Kool-Aid. Bwe Kool-Aid le ba kot ko le tanu kay vini setlisi. And you know what happened? A lot of the people, over 900 people, drank it willingly. Those who did not want to drink it willingly, they were forced to drink it. Out of the expectation to get a better life. Let me tell you something. How many times does labor have to fail us in this country for us to understand that they cannot govern and they don't have the answers to the problems of this country? So yes, voting for labor is like drinking poison to get a better life. And I'm serious about this. Too many young men are dying. Spider spoke about the shooting. These days they don't even report shootings. On Friday, there was a shooting in Badi Chaussee in Castries, southeast. Right now, nobody can say Vieux-Fort is the crime capital. Only Labour qui baptisé for crime capital St. Lucie. Abouez a whole St. Lucie. Say crime. That's what it is. So I am appealing to St. Lucians. I am appealing to labor rights. I am appealing to middle of the road and independent voters. If you vote for SLP, you are drinking poison in St. Lucia. I will end with this. If you are in charge of a child, you are a guardian or a parent, and the child dies under your care, who is held liable? So Tyson was like a child of the St. Lucia police force. Tyson could not care for itself. Tyson had handlers and caregivers and caretakers. Why is it no one has been held accountable or liable for what happened to Tyson? If you have a child who is incapable of taking care of themselves, let me tell you, if you have a parent, a loved one, anybody who dies at home, before you can move that person, whether Lazarus, Rambali, or Creek, before any one of them can pick up and go, somebody must come, a police officer. They must ask the appropriate questions. Why is it that Tyson died, nous t'en était ajusté oui avant nous savent. Et que yoten pour déterrer. You see how corrupt and crooked this Labour government is? And here's what Philip J.P. said to us, the Prime Minister. He said $40,000 a month was too much to spend on a K9 unit that could have saved hundreds of lives in St. Lucia. Now let me tell you, and I want you to understand that. 2 4-door 4-wheel drives from Beachcomber for the police will cost you $400,000. Now I want you to ask yourself as a right-thinking St. Lucian, is 2 4-doors from Beachcomber or JQ or Northwest or Peter and Company, are these 2 vehicles of greater value than the K9 unit that was established by the United Workers' Party under Alan Chasney? So you see why we need to right the wrong? The criminal activity in this country is facilitated by the St. Lucia Labour Party government. And we need to right that wrong. They cannot do it. Ou ka di mwen gen 2 4-wheel drive pito ek ou gen 2 jet ski. Water ski, pas même jet ski. Ou ay gen jet ski, a water ski, bay se police la. Ek ou vwe K9 unit la le. What is wrong with us in this country? And you're going to leave your home on election day and vote for a government like the St. Lucia Labour Party? So all of us committing suicide, we're just waiting to die. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Even bread they try to put out of the reach of the average St. Lucian. Let me tell you something. Pierre can talk about his 17 North as often as he wants. I'm not talking about 17 North or 12-5 or 11-6. I'm talking about we need to do what it takes to get rid of this government and to save St. Lucia. That is what we must do. And so tonight, you cannot choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I want to repeat that. You cannot choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem. The problem we have there in St. Lucia today is the St. Lucia Labour Party. That is a temporary problem. The 5 years is coming up. And every St. Lucian must put their heads together. This is not about who's the UWP candidate. This is about the United Workers' Party as the only party who can right the wrong in this country. And on election day, all of St. Lucia must elect Alan Chasney and the United Workers' Party. I thank you. Good night and God bless.
Yes, you just heard the right guy. Ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, I have a couple announcements to make. A Grand River Bash given by the Saltibus Choiseul Women's Group will be taking place on Friday, August the 1st, that is Emancipation Day. The venue is the PI River, time 10 a.m. onwards. Tickets are $20. Drinks and other eats will be on sale. Come all and support this family day. Now, Castries South Constituency Branch is having a grand community night, and that too, I urge you to support. That community night will be taking place on the 26th of July 2025 at 7 p.m. and the cost will be $50, and inclusive will be dinner, beverage, and a raffle ticket. This will take place at the Cicero Secondary School. Now, talking about raffle tickets, they gave me a ticket. They thought it was a ticket they gave me so I can read the announcement, but it was 2 tickets. I'm not giving it back to them. You know what I'm going to do? If anybody here, I'm giving away those tickets. If anybody here can tell me who is the next parliamentary representative for Castries South, you get no ticket. People, two tickets I say. Okay, I will give you a ticket. Come for your ticket. No, Chico, you're not getting a ticket. They told me you bought a ticket already, so I'm not giving you one. All right. I have one more question. Who is the crime minister of St. Lucia? So wait, based on the answers I'm getting, it looks like we have a crime cabinet. Because I have so many names. You know? Let me see how I'm going to solve this problem to give away this next. Okay. There are a couple disputes taking place right now. One, with the workers at the hotel being built in Rodney Bay, and 2, with the truckers on the wharf. Who did the parliamentary representative of Castries South side? Was it, no, who did he side? Whose side did he take? Was it the workers or was it the foreign investors? I will give you that ticket. Oh, no, you know, oh. Oh, she's disqualified. She's disqualified. You always at every event. You deserve that ticket. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us ensure that we go out and support our constituency branches, and you are getting in the process value for money, plus what they didn't tell you that I will tell you, enough fun, enjoyment, and camaraderie you will find there as well. So, I want to say a special thanks to Choiseul for hosting us tonight. Choiseul Saltibus. And I want to tell Flex that just like they invited me tonight, as of now, anything you have here, you must invite me. Huh? And I want to thank the chairman, not just Flex, but the chairman. And I want to say a special thank you to Jimmy Haynes, not just for the support he's giving to Choiseul Saltibus, but for the work he's doing for the United Workers' Party. And ladies and gentlemen, please, the fever is burning. I remember when I joined the United Workers' Party, the flambeau was operating with kerosene. These days, I notice it's operating with benzene. Things are getting hot. Let us keep the fire burning. Let us keep the momentum. And do not forget, we're building up from today until the 3rd of August when we go to the William Peter Boulevard, our headquarters, where we'll give you the mother of all rallies. And you, for showing up, we will present you with our entire slate of candidates for the next election, 17 from Grosile to Vieux Fort. You will be able to see all the soldiers who will be doing battle on your behalf. Okay, Labour cannot present 17. They can only reach 15, but we are giving you 17. 17 soldiers to save our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank those of you in the diaspora who have always dedicatedly tuned in to our Flabo Live. And I want to thank all of you around St. Lucia who could not make it but listened. And I want to thank especially those of you who came here this evening. I promise you another welcome at the next Flabo Live. I have one waiting for you because I know you will be there. So thank you. Good night. Get home safely. And remember, the action is with the United Workers' Party, the hope of our country. Thank you and good night.
In 2019, the Alan Chasney-led United Workers' Party took decisive action to address the healthcare challenges faced by St. Lucians. The UWP secured a US $20 million loan from the World Bank under the Health Systems Strengthening Project. Out of this loan, US $5.5 million was specifically allocated to establish the framework for a national health insurance program. Under this initiative, every St. Lucian would have received up to $75,000 in healthcare coverage on an annual basis, making healthcare more accessible, equitable, and affordable for all. An advisory board of experts, including Dr. Stephen King and Dr. Merle Clark, was assembled to design the framework for this transformative program. However, when the Philip J. Pierre administration took office, they chose to abandon this initiative. Why? Simply because it was started by the United Workers' Party. The consequences of this decision are devastating. Families continue to struggle with medical expenses, hospitals remain overwhelmed, and St. Lucians are left without the healthcare safety net they were excitedly expecting. Where is the accountability? Where is the vision? We would not be facing the current health crisis if the NHI program had been implemented. The National Health Insurance Program was never about politics. It was about people. It would ensure every St. Lucian had access